bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Well, hello everybody. Welcome. Happy Sunday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically get into all the things going on in celebrity news, gossip, hot topics, anything that's circulating all over social media that's trending. We chat about it on this here show. So, before we get started, can you please do me a solid? Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also smash that notification button so that we can know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And I know it's been a couple of days since I have been out. I told you I was going to be busy this weekend. I was like, well, let me give y'all a quick little Sunday show because I was contemplating. I was like, I don't know if I want to do a show today. But I was like, you know what? I got to get my hustle on. The channel's growing, all this other stuff. And I got to keep myself in the algorithms. And I was like, bitch, and I'm tired because I am. Because, child, I'm still recovering from Friday. And I'm gonna tell y'all what happened on Friday. And it was just a bunch of stuff going on and all this other stuff. So I was like, let me give y'all a quick show. It's like 8 topics. So, we go about 13, 14 topics. But today is gonna be a short one. So we have a lot of tea that we're gonna get to. We gotta break down this whole TGIF situation. I did brush over it a little bit, but now that I've seen everything, I can give my overall assessment. I got receipts. I got to come with the receipts because as a Virgo, we do come with our stuff. So I got all that, including the leaked Zoom call, which exposes how you doing, Reynolds, for being a big old sissy behind the damn scene. Had the nerve to sit up in here and talk about the show was getting too gay, but he acted like the biggest faggot on the panel. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, speaking of talk shows that may be on the verge of cancellation, rumors are swirling that The View may not be returning for a new season. I have my thoughts on that. Plus, child, we got to talk about Katy Perry's latest single. Girl, the numbers are numbering, meaning not in a good way, because Lifetimes is another flop on Miss Katy Perry's hands. So we got to talk about that. Plus, Jennifer Lopez. The team is talking, and apparently none of them like Ben or the idea that Jennifer got back with him. So they are happy that old miserable heifer is back on the West Coast while Jennifer is busy dealing with what she got to deal with in her personal life. But yeah, I don't know how long that's gonna last because they produced the movie together and I seen a trailer with it with her and Jerome Jerome. Well, I seen pictures and stuff. I haven't seen the trailer, but I seen like the photos and stuff that they were showing on social media. And Ben is a producer on that film, so they might have to do the red carpets. Which look, I always say, if you're gonna be in the entertainment industry and you're gonna be hunching your co-stars or whatever the case is, y'all bound to run into each other. So I don't know why people be shot. And we need to talk about the Fugees thing with Lauryn Hill. Apparently, Pras is siding with the fans over Lauryn Hill's statement, which I call BS on the first time I heard it and the last time we talked about it. So, Keke Palmer's mother, Sharon, is weighing in on the whole Dan Schneider situation that was going on at Nickelodeon. Because remember, she was on True Jackson BP. And now, because she has a podcast, as in Keke has a podcast, she's her mother speaking on Speak on it, in the words of Candy Burris. Oh, child, have y'all heard? Kevin Sorbo, crazy ass, been out here just saying all kinds of racist, homophobic, transphobic stuff. But guess what? Hercules and Xena are fighting on social media because Miss Lucy Lawless came out and had some tea to spill on Mr. Sorbo and been clapping back a lot of his statements on social media. So we got to talk about that. Plus, this whole drama surrounding Joaquin Phoenix dropping out of that gay movie that he was supposed to start shooting in a couple of days. Well, there's a producer that's coming out and defending him being a part of the cast because he's a straight actor playing in a gay part. So the producer apparently is coming out here defending him and all that other stuff. So we're gonna talk about it. And people are speculating that Bobby Berk threw some shade at his former Queer Eye co-stars on Threads. So we got that and a whole lot more. Whatever else comes out, we could chat in the chat. But I wanted to keep this show short and sweet today. But of course, I say that, and then the show ends up 3 hours, even with 5 topics or whatever. So I should have known that y'all would be up here. Okay, so Robert's here. Of course she did. Nobody's listening to the vultures. I mean, sad part is Bianca and her damn sisters had to sit up in there and endure that foolishness. His listening party or whatever. In 2024, who the hell's listening to Kanye? Not I said the duck. I mean, I thought about doing that story about him talking about that Beyonce need to let Jay-Z go out and get some pussy. We'll probably say that for tomorrow. I don't have the bandwidth to deal with that mess today. Vultures 2 was 142K. Taylor has 180. I don't know why. How many times he going to release? Didn't he release Vultures already? Like, it keeps, I don't know. I can't even keep up. Nor do I care enough to. I saw a picture of JD Vance in drag. Was he actually in drag? I need to see that picture. Send it to me. Look, quiet as it's kept, I would not be surprised if that beard he has is literally and figuratively a how you doing situation that he could be in the closet. Because you cannot tell me that some heterosexual would have just all of a sudden getting all this accolade success for just being the water boy. And I'm saying water boy as in like you just been being the caddy, whatever you want to call it. For Peter Thiel. And Peter Thiel, everybody knows a big old homosexual. I would not be surprised if he was out here laying alone and spreading it wide to get money, success, fame, and glamour, as a lot of people do when they get in this business. You saying went to see the movie again last night. Oh, what are you talking about? You talking about Deadpool and Wolverine? I've only seen it once, but I have to say, one of my friends was telling me, but he's a big old cynic. So take it with a grade. Like he hates everything Hollywood, even though he used to work in the business. So I don't know why you hate her, but maybe it's just what do you call it? Just having sour grapes for the sake of having sour grapes. But he was like the second time he saw Deadpool and Wolverine, the jokes and everything didn't hold up. Well, that might be true because I feel like it's not going to have just as much the same excitement as when I first saw it. That's why I just like with that movie, I'm gonna just wait until it comes out on streaming or whatever, and then I'll catch it. Or if it comes on digital, because I own the other two Deadpool movies, so I might as well just add the third to my situation, and I'll watch it that way. Like if the mood calls for it. But other than that, it's just like it's not a big thing for me to rush to the damn movies to go see it. Oh yeah, I heard about Celine Dion slamming Trump. I'm like, child, first of all, is that a metaphor? Like he chose the wrong song. First of all, you chose My Heart Will Go On, which is a theme song about a sinking ship. So are you actually referring to your own campaign as a sinking ship? Because that's what it looks like to me. So that's why I'm just cackling. Because it's like you used a song that's literally about the Titanic hitting an iceberg, sinking, and people, dying. And how the rich was basically trying to push everybody out the way and get to safety while the poor had to pretty much fend for themselves, which kind of is a metaphor too for our government on both sides. While the Democrats, try to sit up here and act like, oh yeah, we doing stuff. Y'all ain't no damn different than the other side. Y'all just better at, you know, making yourselves look a little bit more diplomatic. Wait, what's 4 hours? You said Celine speaking out like this was unusual for her. Yeah, well, she doesn't really speak. I mean, she don't want to be affiliated with Donald Trump. I mean, who would want to be? Unless you are, one of them pathetic pick-me's that, you're disappointed in the fact, like an Amber Rose. Amber Rose and her little tight-ass slut walk. And then I guess because when you couldn't grit from that anymore, what's the next thing? They become a radicalist. That's what a lot of them do. And it's kind of getting sad. Um, anyway. It's I love the picture in my story on I need somebody to find one of Lindsey Graham doing that. It is a Trump tannic. I said that really, I mean, really, that song, I had no idea she could read like that. Well, I'm sure Celine's been around enough gays I don't know how to read. Yeah. First of all, it's funny how because I think lipo. Well, okay, let's be respectful. Jason, I did come up with the phrase lipo Lee, but Jason Lee, I know threw some shade at her. She told my she hurt. Girl, bye. Now I do wonder if Perez Hilton problematic ass is still friends with her because oh, I can't stop being friends with her because of her belief. Yeah, okay. Until somebody says some shit to you that hurts your damn feelings, then you want to change it up or whatever the case is. Um, I feel like there's certain things Perez has grown up a little bit, but I do feel like a leopard ain't changed her damn spots because it wasn't that long ago. You did a whole thing anti-trans situation with um Kundis Owens. And that's why I don't like when he gets up there and be talking about trans issues or whatever the case is, especially on his show. This is why I can't with these some of you, you know, short bus fucking gays that be out here saying all this bullshit. Some of y'all need to be back in the back of the damn bus with a helmet on. But anyway, so let me get my banner and without before we get to the tea and everything, I should tell y'all what had happened. So Friday, I was working. I did the Kill Tony show, which I don't know if y'all know who Kill Tony is. It's like one of the biggest podcasts in the country right now. I won't say the world. I don't know. But a lot of the humor and stuff is very much America. It's not, I don't think it'll register outside. Although, with all the craziness that's going on in the UK, I would not be surprised if they get a lot of the humor and stuff that they were doing up in there. So it's very much like Kill Tony is like, well, Tony's like this real popular podcaster. He's also a comedian, and he also he gives a lot of opportunities to up and coming comics who get to come on. They do the stand up or whatever. So at my job for 2 days, they had it last night and the night before. And basically, like he had a panel of comics. So I know Andrew Dice Clay opened, which he did make me laugh. Andrew still got it. Shout out to him. Who else was on the panel? As far as I can remember, I know Joe Rogan was one of the panelists. So, and he was there also last night. Oh my God, I can't remember whoever else. And there was a bunch of other comics that I'm not really familiar with, but I do know like one of the. Oh yeah, Andrew Schultz showed up late because I think he had a plane situation, so he actually showed up halfway through the show as to be a part of the panel. So I mean, they had like their usual standard people, and then also what they do is you could sign up. They pull your name out of a hat, and you can actually, or they'll have like a producer, or whatever, which happened to me yesterday. Come into my section, they pick somebody to come down and actually go on the stage and do the show and until a little stand up. And they get like 60 seconds, which is awesome, pretty much. Who can tell that many jokes in such a short amount of time? And that one thing I'll say about him is like, even though the jokes was like, oh my God, cringe in a lot of ways and very like, oh my God, if this shit made it on social media, everybody be fucking canceled, which is why I actually love the idea that you had to lock up all your devices, tablet, phone, watch. You cannot have done it. Now I can have mine. And if it didn't make it online, they know it was one of us because the employees, if we recorded, they already know that we had our phone. Who they'd be like, who had the phone? Because everybody had to have their devices locked up. So, and then when I was sitting at the hill, like everybody got it. Black people, white people, Jewish people, gays, trans, everybody was getting the business. And I was up in there like, oh my God, cackling. And that's why I'm like, you know what? They need to do that with a lot of these things. I feel like for now, even at I was even thinking music concerts. If artists would actually put into play that y'all have to lock up y'all devices when y'all come to certain shows, do you think people will put up with that though? Because it feels like, with everybody in their phones or whatever, if they record, then people probably get well, why like I want to get pictures of me being at the place. You can get pictures of you when you outside, when you in front of the building and those other stuff, because you should be experiencing the show. You should be enjoying the show. You should be watching the show. And I actually like that with comedians, they do that because it forces you to be engaged in the comedy. I did feel sorry for some of the women. There were so many misogynistic jokes up in there at the expense of women about y'all pussies. There was even jokes about Kamala Harris. They even have two people that do in what is it, parodies, like you know how they do on SNL when somebody comes on and like you'll have what is it, they'll have oh my God, what's his name, Alec Baldwin will come on as Donald Trump. So they have two of the guys that are part of the panel or part of that show. One dresses up. I'm sure if y'all seen the show, y'all know who they are. I don't know names and stuff of these comedians and stuff like that. But they have a guy that comes in as Trump, another guy that does Biden. The Biden shit was spot on with him looking like he was completely unaware where the hell he was. So they were playing him, and then how stupid Trump is had me cracking up. So the jokes with them, and then the stuff that Trump, it's like you can just basically repeat the stuff that Trump says. That's comedy. And I feel like that maybe people need to kind of be aware that, yeah, we can laugh at this shit in comedy spaces, but when it comes to politics, we got to get real with a lot of situations. And I don't want to get political and all this other stuff, but I'm just saying, like, when you do these parodies of these people with the comedy, I do think, like, it's funny. We can laugh at Trump and his spin because he's an idiot. We all know this. And people actually think that he's, like, an ideal guy that can run a country. He had that chance 4 years before Biden, and we know what that turned out to be. So overall, it was funny. I enjoyed the show. So anyway, afterwards, so to get to the point, after I did that whole show, whatever, a friend of mine hit me up and was like, what time you get out of work? And I was like, probably like 10:30, whatever. He was like, you want to come to Fat Slut? Which is all the way in Brooklyn at $3 bill. I was like, bitch, first of all, I'm in Manhattan. I already know what Brooklyn gives. I like Brooklyn, but them trains are a hot ass goddamn mess. So I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to Brooklyn. But I was like, you know what? I got to stop trying to turn down shit and just go. So I was like, let me just go. I went. Child, I bought me, first of all, I didn't even know, like, you can go to clubs in Brooklyn and they sell you alcohol and weed. I'm like, really? Let me find out y'all got a dispensary up here. So they had this girl walking around with a tray. I had me and I was getting mad because I wanted to buy drinks, but that line was too damn long. So I was like, you know what? Let me buy some weed. So I bought uh uh edible. It was a Rice Krispie treat. I ate that whole damn thing. I think it was because I was hungry. But child, I don't know what was in there, some ayahuasca, some whatever, but I was contemplating my life after I ate that. Not like I'm about to go jump in front of a train, but I'm just saying, like, it was just like thinking about a whole lot of stuff. But nevertheless, the show is done by Meatball, who you know was on Dragula, and she has a podcast with Big Dipper. She had a bunch of queens that came out. Keke Ball Change, who is phenomenal. Lady Bunny performed. It was a bunch of other queens. There was a bunch of local Brooklyn queens too. And one thing I will say about Brooklyn versus Manhattan, I actually like Brooklyn drag more because Brooklyn drag is not polished. It's not necessarily like you got to see girls all glammed up and looking like something out of Drag Race. And I feel like when people do that, they miss the whole idea of thinking that this is what drag is. But you see some girl come out in a damn towel or whatever. There was one queen, I wish I knew her name. I think her name was Crystal. Trans girl, came out, titties out, don't even tuck her penis, basically had a jock strap on. You see the meat and potatoes. And then I'm sitting there gagging. I'm like, this chick look like look like Taylor Dane, but up top and at the bottom, giving Dane Cook. Hold on, I'm trying to think of a name. Or Taylor Lautner. But then think of a Taylor Dane at the top, Taylor Lautner at the bottom. So I'm sitting there, gang, I'm living for it. It's like, I don't know what she's saying or what she's doing, but girl, I am living. So that's basically what all that was. And that's why I said I like about the Brooklyn drag. The Brooklyn drag is messy, is unpolished. The girls just be, they perform Charlie XCX. They do Caroline Polachek, Sabrina Carpenter. Oh my God, I forgot. I need to upload that video of Beatball. I hope I don't get in trouble for it. But she does espresso, which, speaking of Sabrina Carpenter, it was the ultimate cackle. But I'm going to try to upload it to my social media and hopefully I don't get flagged. But she wears a breastplate. And basically, during espresso, it's filled with coffee. The titties are filled with coffee. So you know where I'm going with this. She squirts the coffee from her breasts into a glass, gets the whipped cream, pours it around, swirls it around, making an espresso. And then she gives it to the audience. So she drank one, she gave two to the audience, and then there was guys that would come up at certain parts. They were doing shots from her boobs. It is the funniest damn thing I've ever seen. I was sitting there gagging. My friend was like, "You better record this," because I forgot. I was like, "Oh, she did this in LA. I forgot that she did that before." So then she brought it to $3 bill, which $3 bill is like one of the biggest spots in Brooklyn. They have a lot of parties there. I know they're about to do the Madonna worship party there on Madonna's birthday. Chauncey D does his party there. I mean, I think he started out small, but then it's expanded over the 15 years into other venues. So he basically did that. And then what was it? Okay. So he's doing that there. I think the night before I was upset because I found this out. Tove Lo performed there the night before. So I was like, damn. And I found this out because once I put my location where I was at, all of a sudden I started getting $3 bill stuff on my Instagram. So I did post Lady Bunny's performance on my Instagram. I need to post it. I'm gonna post the videos and stuff to TikTok too. I don't think I'll get in trouble over there as much, but we'll see. So that was basically my night, and I ain't get home. Child, and this is why I tell you I don't like going to Brooklyn. I didn't get home till 5:30 in the damn morning. I was so I was so exhausted, and I had to work yesterday, so that's why I was mad because I was like, I know I got to work the next day. I'm gonna get home. I'm probably gonna get 4 hours of sleep, and then so literally I was walking through I felt like I was walking through a haze yesterday. So anyway, that was my night. And then I was like, as soon as I got home yesterday, I just caught up on sleep. So I feel like I'm in that whole aftermath of when you sleep so much, you still tired. So that was me. You said your condolences for being in the same room with well, that's the second time I've actually been in a room with Andrew Scholes. So that's not that's my second time with him. And yesterday Joe Rogan was there also because the guy that impersonates Donald Trump did a whole bit where he was just like, oh, Joe Rogan is such a loser because he's endorsing RFK Jr. blah blah blah. And I was like, this is basically a setup because Joe Rogan's about to come out. And I don't think a lot of the audience knew because they couldn't see no video footage or whatever on social media because the phones were locked up. So when he comes out, all of a sudden it was a big round of applause, all this other stuff. So there's a demographic out there that loves Joe Rogan. What Madonna is it? Oh, look. Hey, Lindsay Guerrero. She said the queen is in the chat. She's in Italy now for her birthday week, as she should be. You said joints, $5 blood. Well, that edible was 20. I was like, damn, what the hell are you putting there? Then after I ate it and that shit seeped in about 3 hours, once it finally took effect, I was like, okay, now I see why I was, that much. I thought about getting pre-rolls because I don't roll. I probably would be like Snoop Dogg and give me a professional roller because I'm not a roller. Onyx is in the building. Okay, so now we 22 minutes into the show. We still didn't get to our first topic, and that's because I had to tell y'all my day on my side. So it was lit. I think I want to go out to. I'm gonna start hanging out in Brooklyn a whole lot more. Child, quiet as it's kept. I kind of want to move back to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is where it's at. It's so much fun out there. Manhattan seemed a little too uppity and bougie for me and stank. And the girls be acting like they better than every damn body. But in Brooklyn, it seems like everybody's more relaxed. Everybody's more cool, calm, and collected. Maybe they're not real New Yorkers. Maybe it's a lot of people that just moved from other parts of the world and just came to Brooklyn to reside. Maybe that's why they're a lot nicer out there. And the boys are cuter too. No shade. Okay, so I heard Joe's Netflix special, but oh yeah, because he made a lot of trans jokes and some other stuff. Look, child, there was a lot of that frat boy humor. That's what Kill Tony does. Agreed. You said Brooklyn wears that, but them trains are the worst. They damn sure are. That's the only thing I don't like about Brooklyn. And the one thing I did like about Brooklyn when I lived in Bushwick was that it was the trains in that where I needed to get from worked for me because I lived by the M train and the J train. So it was easy for me to get around over in Bushwick. That damn L train, oh hell no. It's always some shit with them. And that's why I was mad too, because when I left and I was on my way back from $3 bill, the thing that irritated me was the L train went to 14th Street, but not to the 14th Street I need to get to, which was going to get me directly to the M train and all that other stuff. It stopped literally at Union Square. That was the last stop. So I was mad because, for some of y'all that don't know, the L train, there's 3 different 14th Streets that it stops at. It's similar to the 7 train. The 7 train has like 3 different 42nd Streets that it stops at. You say I don't roll either, except You take ecstasy, okay, Nelly. I'm like, who's still taking ecstasy in 2024? Because I was sitting there like, when I was hearing about Nelly still doing ecstasy, I'm like, who still do that? I ain't did that in like 20 years. Which is probably why I can't remember shit these days. Is that damn e-pills. But I was like, I don't do that. But anyway, let's get to the TGIF stuff because there's a whole lot that we got to get to. So I finally watched all the stuff with TGI. Oh wait, let me close this because I have my other thing open. It would have gave me some feedback. But anyway, so let's talk about this whole TGIT. So I finally watched the videos or whatever. You know, I watched the Funky Don't Even interview. The Funky Don't Even interview was actually pretty good. Shout out to Carlos King. I like what he did in regards of getting all of Quentin's backstory, all the other stuff. I like learning about, because I said, like, when it came to him, we had a lot in common. Like, I was pretty much the class clown and used my mouth as a weapon and stuff because I wasn't a big old fighter. Although I did get in the fights in school, I won some fights, I lost some fights. Ain't no shame in my game. We've all been there when it comes to certain things. I was called the F word before I even knew what the F word was because I was quiet, but also I was very much like, um, I guess I would say I still am a butch queen. I gave butch queen teas since I was a kid, yeah. So, I'm balanced like a Virgo. We're the balanced sign. But anyway, so I related to him on that other stuff in a lot of that ways. I didn't have like a bad relationship with my parents in regards to coming out like he did. But where he was like his father, I guess, was more understanding, or his father really wasn't in his life as much a lot, and that his mother basically couldn't deal with his homosexuality. And one day she came and was being disrespectful at his house, but she needed something. He said he slammed the door in her face and let her sit her ass up out in that heat until her car cooled down and she got it to where she needed it to go. Because you wasn't going to disrespect me and tell me I'm a damn abomination, so many damn words, and I was going to lift the finger to help you, which I feel like a lot of us tend to do. It's like, even though our parents have these feelings, depending, a lot of us will kind of like turn a blind eye and be like, you know what? They love me or whatever in their own way, and I'm gonna try to fight for their. Meet people where they at. It's like, I'm gonna give you the grace to get to come to terms, but I'm gonna still live my life. But what you're not going to do is disrespect me. So we got to demand that respect in a lot of ways. I'm not just going to sit up in here and take abuse from you, being like, I'm doing all this stuff for you, but I'm still the F word in your eyes or a disappointment. We're not doing that, because if that's the case, I can cut you out. So he was talking about his past, the fact that he said he hunched all of his damn friends. And I was sitting there like, do all of us as homosexuals, do we all do that? Do we all hunch our friend? I mean, look, I'll be honest. I have slept with a few of my friends, but not all of them. I don't sleep with all of my friends. I ain't a whore like that. But there have been situations where I've slept with my friends and we're still friends. I've not slept with all of my friends, but nevertheless, it does happen within our community. So he was open about that, his relationship and stuff. But then it got down to the TGI stuff, which I know some people was like, well, he was baited into answering those questions. I feel like the reason why Funky was brought on to answer that question, of course, we knew that was going to come up because he's in a situation where he was a part of the show and he probably wanted to know his experience being on there. I would have done more of, it should have been with your experience on the show, and did you see any craziness that was going on that would lead up to the show being canceled, rather than, so what did you think about the roast and how Armand handled whatever, because what you're doing is you're setting someone up to defend one person while throwing another person under the bus. And that's basically what happened, and it came up. So when he started calling Armand immature, he started saying he wasn't there long enough to know, and these are his words, what the fuck he was talking about. Because we're gonna play the clip. And where Armand was going in on this situation to the point he literally started crying on air. And I felt for him, because it's like, I know what it's like when people have their name in your mouth, when you got so many people that talk so much mess about you, and there's no way that you could defend yourself. He's gotten into it with so many podcasters, YouTubers, or whatever. And it's probably because a lot of people, particularly in the Black podcasting space, a lot of y'all are messy. A lot of y'all sit up in here, use people, and want to just do stuff, throw dirt on people to get a video, go viral, whatever the case is. I don't give a fuck about all that stuff. If the stuff goes viral, goes viral. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because a lot of times algorithms are unpredictable, and you never know what is going to be your video that blows up and what video is not going to blow up. Because there have been many times I've made videos that I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good one. I'll look at it and be like 400 views or whatever. Then there's other stuff that I talk about that I'm like, oh, I don't think this is going to be a big one, and it blows up. But then there was one the one I did know was going to blow up, because a lot of y'all are whores and y'all are nasty. It's the Horse the Wolf stuff. Because I'm like, the homosexuals, we love sex. And we like stuff about porn and things of that nature. And that one did over 10K. So I know like those and stuff is gonna blow up, but it's like, yeah, you never know. Cause it's like I post things on Instagram, I post things on all my social media platforms. You never know. So I don't live or die by these algorithms. I put out enough content and I just hope for the best. So I could definitely understand his frustration because he came out the gate with his little torch because Armand got a flair for the dramatic, and I live for it because it's good TV, and he's a great personality. Um, but he's somebody he needs to immature. I mean, he needs to mature a bit because I'm like, well, he said a lot of bit, and I'm sitting there like, Armand is in his mid-30s. Um, he does messy stuff, but he's not to the point. It's not as bad as what we found out Al was over there doing. Al you doing was doing, I should say, because and he the oldest one that was on that panel. He on the later side of 60. 50, well, mid 50s. So that's why I'm saying he on the later side of 60, acting like the biggest, messiest sissy that was on that damn panel. But everybody else was up in here saying, Amon's the bad guy, Claudia's the bad girl, and this heifer over here is perfect in every way. He married goddamn Poppins. Come to find out he was the one that was pulling strings and putting everybody against each other. Probably because, and this is what happens when you're the person who was the weakest talent on the totem pole. And let's be clear, Al was, because he's somebody who's not that good of a damn personality. I don't care how many HBCUs, AKAs, whatever kind of fraternity shit that you talk about you would belong to. You can't buy a personality. And he couldn't buy one. He was trying to buy one, but he couldn't. Sometimes you just don't have it. Claudia has the gift of gab. Armand has the gift of gab. We've seen what happened when Al Doin tried to read a goddamn teleprompter. I was like, can y'all put us out of our misery? Because he can't read. He was horrible at reading that pattern and had no personality when he was delivering it. You got to have a flair or a certain type of personality when you get up in here and you start saying stuff. You can't just come online and just hope people give a damn what you're going to say. Sometimes, some people have it, some people don't. And yeah, maybe Funky helped him out in a lot of ways, but he was trying to help him, bring out that personality or whatever the case was. But according to Armand, it was like they had it out for him since the beginning. He walked into that mess. It's like, yeah, you got to quit. You got to leave on your own accord because they didn't pay you 200 and something odd extra damn dollars to the amount that you was making on that show. And Armand revealed that he made significantly less than his other two co-hosts. That I know he's now coming in or whatever, but there was, but why am I making less than everybody else in here? Like, that's messy. And so that's why I was like, to people, when you do these panel shows, if I was to ever have the opportunity to be on a panel show similar to TJ, if another one pops up in the future, somebody ever consider me, do you think I'm gonna stop doing Chris Avalon Unfiltered? Hell fucking no. Because it's like, what you're not gonna do is have me up in here working 5 days a week over on that show making crumbs. And then I gotta sit up in here and try to figure out how to rob Peter and pay Paul when I got a lot of bills? Hell no. So I'm going to be making money over there and I'm going to be making money over here. And that's why I never understood why Funky stopped doing his show for that long period. And Armand, at some points, I feel like he stopped doing his show as much because when you devote an hour of all that time, but they said behind the scenes, all they had was a lot of bitching. So Armand didn't take too kindly, of course, to what Funky said about him and did a 2.5 hour video. Even Claudia Jordan called up the show to weigh in on a lot of stuff that happened. She said she was working the Universal Circus or something or another, where she was getting people to sign up to vote or whatever, I guess out in Texas. So she was busy with that, but she heard, I guess people was letting them know that Armand was live and she would just called in just to offer support and basically say, come to his defense. And so we're going to play all of that. It's probably going to be a long one. I'm going to try not to make it a long one, but I just want y'all to hear what Armand had to say, even coming down to explaining spilling all the tea. Because some people are like, oh, this is professional. Why are you coming out? I said, because at this point, if people are going to sit up in here and keep my name in their mouth, they're going to keep saying that I was the one that started every damn thing on this show, then I don't care anymore. I'm going to burn every bridge. I'm going to tear this whole world down. I'm taking this world down with me, and I'm going to expose everybody. I don't give a damn who it is. And he exposed a lot of receipts. So, without further ado, let's get to that clip, and then we'll get to the other ones. as the show progresses. Please hold.
Everybody, I'm like, y'all said, based on what we heard out of his own mouth, when it comes to got lost in the sauce, it did the fuck he was talking about. Okay. And it's just the things that were coming out of his mouth had trappings of somebody gave him this information.
Who gave me information? Bitch, what information did I need to know? It wasn't you, or was it you? Who was it? Al's a liar? He's a manipulator? Joyce is a liar? Who needed to tell me that Al was going around telling people that I went on dates with the producers? How long did I need to be there for that? How long did I need to be there to know that Al was saying that me and my nigga was fucking the producers? And you know he said that. I know you know. Why you sitting your ass up there cross-eyed, cross-legged and shit. Bitch, don't play with me. You know your friend was fucking messy. You know it. And I know for a fact you know some of the shit that he was saying about me because he said it to you. Bitch, don't tell me what I know and what I don't know. I'm very articulate, I'm very coherent, and I'm very motherfucking sharp and clever, bitch. Don't let these girls in your comments gas you up. Bitch, I'm far from a dummy. I don't need you, Claudia, or Al to pump me for a motherfucking thing. I seen everybody.
Simply had not been there long enough. And
I was there long enough.
And going back to our earlier conversation when I was talking about the maturity piece, that's the thing right there.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get into that.
Like
Girl, shut the fuck up. You sound stupid as hell.
I laid out for Armand everything he needed to do to be.
Did you lay it out for me, or did I not pick up the battery that you gave me and put in my fucking back? So now I'm immature. I'm only immature because I didn't drag Claudia. Because let's talk about the battery. The battery was get Claudia's ass out of here and continue to make that bitch uncomfortable. And when I didn't do that, then I became immature because then it was me and Claudia were cool. Then I stopped hearing from him. Then Al started acting funny. Let's be very clear. Y'all didn't want me to like Claudia. When I started fucking with Claudia, then I became immature. Let's just call a thing a thing. That's what the battery is, right? The problem is I didn't take your battery and run and terrorize Claudia alongside Al. That's what you wanted me to do. But no, I sat back and I seen it for myself. And I realized.
I'm Millie, a content creator, coach, and business owner. If I had to start my business from zero, I would have focused on building out.
Whoa, this motherfucker's a weirdo. He's a hater. Gotta watch that motherfucker. You didn't warn me about him. You tried to warn me about Claudia, but you didn't warn me about the insecure asshole that was gonna try to get me fired and put all the damn rumors out against me. But you didn't do that because you didn't give a fuck about me either, because you felt like they were trying to replace me with you with me, or what, me with you, or you with me, or whatever the case may be. You thought they were trying to replace you with me, and you wanted to show them that I couldn't be you.
Yeah, basically what he's trying to say, because he's confused by his own words, is that he got upset because they were looking for a Funky Dineva replacement, which was the closest thing I guess they felt that matched his energy was Armand Wiggins, because I was like, they could have put Dustin up on there. I like Dustin, but you know, Armand spilled some tea that Al didn't even want him up there. So I guess anybody that looks smarter than him, anybody that had any ounce of intelligence or gift of gab or talent, Al, you doing ugly monkey ass, didn't like it. So that's why he was up in here trying to be an old messy queen. Because let's be clear, that's what this behavior is. This is some messy butch queen behavior that he's spewing where he trying to manipulate and play people against each other, and then talking to production and creating narratives where he trying to get everybody fired. But you know, when you do shit like that, what this old queen don't realize, this old tired figure, which I don't understand, what all that does, it all comes back. Everybody gonna start talking to each other. They're gonna realize the math ain't mathing, and you're going to be exposed, which eventually happened. So everybody's like, well, Al didn't talk. Why would he need to? He had Funky up there being his mouthpiece. He had Funky up there carrying his water, being the bone collector. Okay, he wanted to be Sheree so bad. You got to visit the house and everything back in the early days when you was wearing them old rotted wigs. And so now you get the opportunity, to actually be Sheree for a season of TGIF. It wasn't on the Atlanta Housewives, but you got close enough. So you sitting up there being the bone collector for messy ass Al, and we see what happened. But let's get back to the show.
How dare they try to go get them a loud, black, flamboyant gay boy to try to be the next Funky Dynamic? I'm going to show them. I'm going to go live at their time. And girl, I don't give a fuck about him. That's what it was. You never cared for me. Let's be very clear on that. You didn't. I didn't pick up your battery pack. So now I'm immature and everything I did was gross, but it was all good when you felt the same shit that I felt at that show. It's okay when you're messy. It's okay when Al's messy. You didn't see any of the shit that Al does. You heard none of the shit that Al does. You didn't think there was anything wrong with Al being on live air, crashing out, but yet you've seen all these things that I've done. I can't respect that. Because if you're going to give it an opinion, give it across the board. But you only see the shit that I done when you know everything that's going on there because you've been gossiping with Al. Bitch, you're trash. And I don't have no respect for you.
Successful at that show. And in my opinion, he went there and did the complete opposite. And I'm very disappointed in him for it. I am. Because I rooted for you. I rooted for you when there were actually people working against you being there. And I informed
all right, Tyra Banks.
Informed him that there are people who don't want you there. There are people.
Nobody wanted me there. Claudia didn't want me there. Claudia did not want me there. She didn't. And we're going to get into it.
Who were going out of their way to not have you here. Told them who the people were and everything. And then I told him everything you need to do to be successful there. And you went up there and drank the.
But you didn't tell me that Al was a hater. You did not tell me that Al was wrapped up under Joyce. You did not tell me that Al was a master manipulator.
The Kool-Aid and got.
Now I drank the Kool-Aid.
Lost in the sauce. It did the complete opposite. And if I'm being honest, was a major contributing factor as far as I can see as to why the shit got canceled.
And y'all think I'm supposed to, I'm a major contributing factor as to why the show got canceled, as from what he can see. None of this, which he knows, but you're going to choose to say this shit. Girl, get out my comments with this bullshit. Girl, she's trash. I'm done with her. Girl, I was a major contributing. No, I was not. I was not. I was not. And you know that I was not. Let me tell you something. This show, when I did that roast, we were coming back that Monday. The problem is, not Al, several.
How many, Armand? Tell me one more time.
Several, bitch. Why you think you know what you're talking about, ho? Several of the staff made an HR complaint weeks prior against Al and Joyce because Al was doing shit like threatening to throw the show, not coming on time, being babied by Joyce, pouting around, spreading rumors, making it a horrible workplace for everybody. So HR got involved and did an investigation. By the time the roast happened, we were still under investigation, bitch. What are you talking about? We did a whole HR complaint against Al because Al put out allegations and rumors on me Joyce did nothing about it. And I said, before I crash out, something needs to happen. Some more people went to HR. HR went on and started doing an investigation. The girl went to, she was on break. We were actually supposed to come back and do the whole thing, but they deemed the show with so much dysfunction even before the roast that they decided to go on a hiatus. We went on hiatus because of the roast and Al complained. It was the roast and Lunel which took us on hiatus because Al had got upset, but we were already under HR investigation. We were supposed to fly to Houston to have a sit-down meeting because Joyce would not control Al. That's what happened, bitch. Just running your fucking mouth.
You think it's his fault?
I don't think it's his fault.
Okay.
I don't think it's his fault. I think that he was a major contributor.
Called you, baby, and
did not have to be.
Wow, I just built the most amazing workflow on money.com.
You build your own workflow? Why?
Like, I was just does her thing. She does well.
Because now I'm done with that. I'm done with that. So let's get it all the way out here, okay? I get hired onto the show. I'm going through the audition process. I wasn't even gonna do the show because I was like, I don't want no problems with Funky Dineva. I don't want to be in the midst of that. I just got my studio. I didn't even want to do the show. I didn't give a shit about the show. I didn't want to do it. Then they say, no, you're good. You should try. You should do it. I'm like, okay, let me try it. They seem to like me. They offer me the contract. I get on the show. I'm really not about to do the show. I say, because the numbers come back, and it ain't $250,000, bitch. How about it's $70,000? Let's start there. All you bitches running your mouth like I got 250, bitch. I'm not stupid. And Dineva, you knew I didn't get 250. So you sit up there and gaslight it like, oh, I fucked up 250. Bitch, I pissed 70 bands on my YouTube channel without even trying. That's what my contract was. You bitches out here running your mouth. I didn't get paid $250,000. Bitch, I got 3 times less than everybody on that show. Start there. Let that sink in, bitch. While y'all in my pockets. Let's start there. Right? You hoes is in my pockets. So I didn't get $250,000. So I didn't just fuck up $250,000, bitch. Actually, I had to work double. I had to make sure I worked Foxhole and my YouTube just to make sure that my ends met. Because it was taking time, because I had to do that 5 days a week. I make more money sitting here than I did there. And I told my mom, I said, I don't want to do it. She said, son, do it. I said, no, I don't want to do it. Mommy, come on, it's going to take away from my time. I just got my studio. I don't want to do it. She's like, do it for the 6 months. I said, you know what? I probably will do it for the 6 months because it can give me some brand recognition and maybe I can grow and put me in places that I've never been before. Boom, get on there. I don't even have a welcome call. First type of emails I get is Claudia doesn't want you on the show, and Claudia thinks that, and Claudia is saying, Claudia is telling the producers that you make her feel uncomfortable, and that this is from anonymous Twitter pages that got the emails from the producers, all saying Claudia is saying that you make her that you don't make her feel safe and unseen. And 2, sometimes she just wants you to, they want to, let you talk so you can just hang yourself because she doesn't want you to get the job. That's how it came in for me. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be cool. And I'm gonna show you the receipts. I'm gonna be cool. I'm like, yeah, it's no problem, whatever. I'm just do it because I need the Fox name. We gonna get to the red carpets. It's gonna be that. Boom. I go to find out, ain't no budget. Ain't no red carpets. Ain't no access. We don't have no contacts. Ain't no BET, ain't no NAACP awards, ain't no hip hop awards, ain't no Peacock, ain't no nothing. Then I go to find out, bitch, Al is paying for all of his shit to go with the mic flag, girl. You got to buy your own cameraman. You got to get your own press pass. You got to apply for all this shit on your own. So now they don't even have no access. So now I'm taking a pay cut, and I don't even have access. They don't even have no connects. All right, cool. That's fine. I signed up. I'm gonna finish it. It's cool. I'm gonna finish it. It is what it is. We might get in studio. We on Zoom, but it's every day. But Claudia don't like me. Shit is weird. She liking posts. She doing interviews. I'm having to go off because I'm like, no one ever ushered me in. I never met the heads of nothing. They never even had a sign-on meeting with me and say, hey guys, welcome. This is the new host, Armand. I walked into immediately. Claudia don't like you. Here's a bunch of comments that she's posting, and that she's saying that you make her feel unsafe. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Boom. I get a phone call from Al. How long you been cool with Claudia? I'm like, I don't really know. She's like, you see the shit she did? Don't trust her. She's a manipulator. Don't answer her phone call. Don't text her. Keep it very short and do every phone call you have with her on Zoom because she's recording it all and she's trying to set you up, and Claudia will sue. She's a Karen. Don't trust her. So Claudia's calling me. Bitch, you thought I picked up that phone? Absolutely not. Bitch, I'm not about to trust you. I don't know what's going on. Bitch, I just walked in here and I'm getting emails. And because you bitches like receipts, I'm going to show you the emails that I was getting in February.
Okay, so we're going to stop it there because otherwise we're going to be on here for 2 hours doing this damn topic. So if y'all want to see the rest of the stuff where he's going to pull up the emails and show you all the receipts, y'all could definitely go over there and catch the episode, which I can probably see at the time. It says, Amon Wiggins reacts to Funky Dinevah's backhanded compliments with Carlos King. So that's up on his thing. If you don't watch the whole thing, even down to Claudia Jordan calling in and weighing in on the situation because he did pull receipts and was showing that Al was up in there being messy. So after that, Funky did not watch the thing because I know like one of the other days I was watching his show and wait, hold on. Switch over to wait. Yeah, let me take that out of there for a second. Okay. So then people were like, while Funky was doing his show, his fans started, the Funky Bunch was messaging him, or maybe it wasn't the Funky Bunch. I don't know. But the people was in his chat, Amon is going in on you on his channel, so on and so forth. And Funky had at one point said, stop putting this in the chat. I'm not going to sit up here. Like, he don't bait people. I guess he don't want to go over there and hear what people got to say or whatever the case is. He's not going to sit there and watch somebody drag him for 2 hours on social media. But he did say that a friend of his sent him some clips and he weighed in on the situation. So let's travel from YouTube over to the Twitter. And we're going to play that clip. I don't know if I want to play the whole thing. It's like 7 minutes, but I just want to give you all the gist of basically him, I guess, saying he's sorry, which we all knew that was going to come, that you go and you say things in the interview and you don't realize like how people, like based on what you were saying, maybe he got lost in the sauce. He got caught up in the moment because, when you sitting there with Carlos King, you doing a show, whatever, you're going to add a little extra, if anybody be an interview, you're going to add a little extra sazon to the situation. And he came in and he said what he had to say. So let's get to the clip, please, dude. And we'll come back.
Know the ins and outs of what was going on over there after I left. I don't know what all you are experiencing. I don't. You and a lot of other people are absolutely right. The only information that I am and was receiving was from Al. Claudia and I are not in relationship. And I did not talk to any other producers after I left the show. So there is a world where my perspective on things can be a bit askew. However, coupled with what I experienced while I was there, while it may be one-sided, I highly doubt that I highly doubt that it's so one-sided to the point where my assessment of it still was unfair. A hardcore fact, regardless of how the roast came about, there was a roast that took place, and then the show never came back. There was a roast that took place, and the show never came back. So it is reasonable for one to conclude that the roast was a contributing factor in the show not coming back. That's an irrefutable fact. There was a roast, and then the show never came back, unless I'm missing something. I did not watch Armand's video. I got a couple bits and pieces from friends. Me personally, I don't torture myself by sitting back and watching things where people are just going in on me. But my friend did send me a clip at the end where Armand was crying, and he was saying that nobody knows what he was going through and that he was catching it on all ends or both ends or something to that effect. And I 100% agree with him. And the position that you found yourself in, Armand, was the very position I was trying to prevent you from being in. Hence why I gave you all the information that you needed to navigate that space. See, the unfortunate thing is, you know, you've got one person who has made it their life's mission to be in all the comments, responding to all the blogs, doing all the interviews, the first person to break the news that the show was canceled before the show was even officially canceled. The only person doing all the talking, you notice everybody else is quiet, and thus that's the person driving the narrative. You got swept up in some games that were being played before you entered the scene, and you made the choice to align yourself with the very side, and I'm going to reveal some stuff here. You chose to align yourself with the very person when you were auditioning who went to the execs and said, he does not like women. I feel threatened when working with this person. This person is not a good fit. And whether you know it or not, and despite how you may feel about Al at this point in time, it was Al who stood up for you and said, you know what? I have to draw the line here. It's one thing if you don't want to work with him. That's one thing. It's another thing for you to ruin his name with the whole Fox organization. Okay? Once that was revealed to me, that is when I started working on your behalf in the background. That's when I began texting Joyce, saying, Joyce, y'all would be a doggone fool not to hire Armand. Y'all would be a fool. He's the only one that can do it. Then, if you notice, when I posted that post on my Instagram and I said, Armand did so good, y'all. It's nobody else that can take my spot except Armand. That was all intentional, Armand. That was all intentional. That was me and Al working in the background to get you the job because she was working so hard for you not to get it. The PTSD from me being there, you even told me that she called you and said, don't think because you got a YouTube page and you got a YouTube following that means anything over here. The same one who said you were talking too much, that you need to dial it back, that you needed to fall back. You can take what I gave you. You can take it any way you want to take it. Based on the experience that I had there, I felt like I was doing you a service, not a disservice, by disclosing everything that I experienced when I was working there. You know, unfortunately, somehow or another, you were able to get swept up in a game that was much bigger than you. And honestly and truthfully, I felt like I prepped you good enough for you not to have got swept up in that. And I think what I see in you is also what I see in a lot of younger gays, is that they cling to these women thinking that these women gonna take them somewhere. And honestly and truthfully, you got swept up in her game, and collectively that game caused that show to get canceled.
Okay. So basically, Funky is, because he won't say her damn name. Say her name, say her name. So clearly he talking about Claudia Jordan, that Claudia was the defining factor of why the show was getting canceled. She didn't want Armand Wiggins to be there, according to Funky. She was the one that was spreading a lot of rumors and saying stuff about him. But then why was it that we saw text messages and things of that nature that was being pulled up that Armand showed on his show for, you know, going against stuff with him and all those other things. So now I'm gonna get to all the others, my overall opinion. That's why I've been over here taking notes, because I didn't want to stop and start, be annoying like that and just give my opinion as I was saying it and then continue with the clip, because I know that could be annoying. But let's get to the third act. We can finally wrap this up, of the leaked Zoom calls that ended up on social media, where Al's going off on Joyce, saying that Joyce was gaslighting him, she was picking on him, all this other stuff. Oh, it doesn't feel good when y'all be saying stuff about me, about my appearance, that I've been talking too much, and I've been doing this, and I've been doing that, and all this other stuff. And then it's 3 parts. So then it's like, and then for Funky to say, oh, I was trying to prep you and warn you about certain people and all this other stuff. But it's like, okay, now if I'm sitting in a Zoom meeting where Al is saying certain things and behaving a certain way and all this other stuff, and I'm caught up in the middle of that, how is that protecting me from the vitriol that's going to be going on in this show? I'm going to have to endure it regardless, because it's not like y'all have a staff of 150 people. It's literally 3 talents, a couple of producers, and that's it. So I don't know how you going to protect him from a situation that you yourself ran from, because your money wasn't right. And you realize that you could make more money over there on your platform, similar to what Armand said about his show, than he was making over at TGIF. So it didn't matter if y'all picked Dustin, if you picked T.S. Madison, if you picked, you know, the biggest queen down the street. I think anybody that would have went up on that show would have had to endure the shit that you ran away from. So what are you talking about? So now I'm like wondering, Lord, now after this clip, does this mean Armand gonna come in here and go back? They're gonna go back and forth. I just say nip this in the bud. Funky gonna believe what he gonna believe. He gonna believe Al. I quiet as it's kept. I think he wanna fuck Al. That's probably why he you know, one of the friends he ain't slept with yet. So maybe that's why he windmilling so hard for this band. Because it's like Al ain't saying nothing because he got people doing his dirty work. He got his assistant, whoever that heifer was, call up, make it make sense to spill tea over there, windmilling for him, and he got you doing it. So what the fuck he need to go on social media for to give his side of the story when he got bitches like you running up there saying what needed to be said? You don't need to say nothing. But anyway, let's get to this clip and then we'll continue.
That there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect, Joyce, and you refuse to recognize it, and it's not fair. You say to us certain things, but then you backslide on it. You say certain things to me, and you say certain things to other people. It's quite clear you got caught twice talking about me. You got caught. And I won't even tell on this show, on this Zoom, what you said to me offline. Okay, so we won't even talk about that.
Al, I just really quick, I want to jump in because, guys, we're on Zoom, and it's still people on here, and this conversation is recorded. The thing is, I just want us, like, I mean, we're definitely, this is, you know, we have to resolve this, but I just kind of want this to keep this in-house, because these type of things.
Let's talk about being very unprofessional.
Okay.
Why would you send me that? Why wouldn't you say, Al, look, I apologize. I messed up. You're going to send me, let's talk about being very unprofessional, telling me I'm being unprofessional because I missent something. You missent it first. You missent it first. And then you're going to call me unprofessional? Cut it out. And then say to me, please pay attention to the show. I'm not paying attention to the show? Did I miss something? Did I miss when somebody called on me?
I'm not raising my voice at you.
Well, I am, because I'm upset. I'm tired of my EP not respecting how I feel. I'm tired of my EP talking shit about me. I'm tired of my EP acting like one thing in front of one group and one thing in front of another. Okay, I have a right to be upset. I asked you to please let me go. You will not let me go.
Wow.
So this is what you get.
Okay.
Well, at that point, why don't you just let your contract dissolve like Funky did and don't renew it? That's all he needed to do if he was so unhappy being there. And, child, this is just a hot-ass mess. But let's get to the other clip. And for those of you that were a little confused, for those of you a little confused that was going on, apparently Joyce had written an email about complaining about Al, and I guess he wasn't paying attention or talking too damn much or going over his time or whatever the case was. And she accidentally sent the email to him, and he got wind of it, and now he's upset. So now we've heard since then, Joyce coddles and babies him and lets him get away with murder and doesn't get checked, which is what Claudia refers to in the next clip. Now, I don't know if this is the same video. It says that he's he's upset. So I think this is the one where Claudia is expressing her grievances with with Al and Joyce, and the fact that she coddles and babies him and lets him get away with murder. So I think all y'all played the contributor damn factor, quiet as it's kept. It wasn't just no damn Armand Wiggins in a roast. Armand clearly said in the video that what started the whole situation, the roast was the straw that broke the camel's back, but they were under investigation. And then see, Doniva, if you actually watched the damn video instead of some clips, you would have probably known the whole story, that you can get on social media and on your own platform and say what you say. So me, I'm not a pussy, where it's like, if I was talking about somebody and somebody says something about me, I'm going to sit through them and hear what they got to say, and I'm going to tell my side of the story. I'm not going to be like, well, I don't want to hear somebody reading me for 2.5 hours, but I'm going to still give my opinion regardless. And even though he even said at the beginning of the video, he didn't have all the information. You were only getting conversations from Al. Al was the only one that was telling you everything. And clearly he was, because when we watched that episode when the whole roast happened, and right after Doniva was doing her show, Al immediately called Funky on the phone and didn't even care that he was live and started wanting to go in and let Havin spill tea. So what are you talking about? So clearly y'all been Keke sisters the whole damn time, even when you leaving the show and saying what need to be said, and y'all going back and forth. So y'all all played a contributing factor. We can't just blame it on some newbie that just came in. I'm calling bullshit on that. But anyway, let's get to this clip of Claudia, and then we can finally wrap this up, because I feel like this went on for a good 5 minutes. But anyway, let's get to it.
Don't really talk anymore. He wanted to have a meeting. Since I'm tired of the lies, and it has to all be on the table. And I wish Al was here. And I said, what? He calls me up and says he doesn't like the direction of the show. And at the time, I wasn't feeling it either, in full disclosure. And Armand, I told you this.
We already know this.
I told you I wasn't feeling it either. I felt like it was all this contention. It was this negative. And I felt the same way. So he's like, I want to have a meeting with Joyce, which I thought was weird that he wanted to include me, because I know they have their relationship and they talk a lot. And then they're close. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll be on the meeting. In the meeting, he said he felt a few things. He felt like Justin is making the show too gay, and he wanted Destiny to have a bigger role in the show and take over the topics. Did say that. Okay, so you agree with that. Then he also said, and Armand, I don't like the tone of the show, and I'm just not happy, and I don't think I can do this much longer if he's here. And I was like, wow, okay. He said that. He also said, I went out with Armand, and Armand said that him and Justin went on a date, and he's been very heavily coached for this job, including being told to join after. That is what's being said. I'm sorry, Joyce. I'm a very honest person. I'm not good at lying, and I will tell the truth. That's what was said in the meeting. We had this meeting. We did have the meeting. He did say that. I'm not even putting that on you. That's why I find it very odd that you're rushing to his defense and saying, no, shutting it down. He said it, Joyce. I'm a very credible person, and I'm not a liar. I'm not.
You said I agree with every single thing.
Okay, so, but he did tell you that, Joyce, and I don't know why you're denying it.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
So, Joyce, you didn't tell me that he said that I am making the show heavily gay.
Yeah, he did say that. He said he wanted Destiny to take over your role and to put her more in the position.
You didn't tell me this, Joyce.
So Justin was making it heavily gay.
Oh my God! Yo, Joyce.
That's what he said.
Let me walk it off.
He felt that the show was turning heavily gay. He didn't say that Justin is making the show heavily gay.
Then why would he suggest Destiny to take over?
No, he didn't say for Destiny to take over. He said maybe what Destiny can do is Destiny. Hold on 1 second.
Basically, we're saying the same thing, but you're making it more palatable. I don't really talk anymore.
So basically, so that's what that was. Now, child, now you saw Joyce admitted that Al, you doing, did say all that stuff to her, but because Justin, the other producer who Al accused Armand of having sex with, because apparently, like I said, he don't like no competition, or whatever. So if you are gonna, what's the word? If you come into a place where he feels threatened, that's when the messiness start out. It's funny how the people that say they bisexual, y'all be the biggest F words. Y'all be more of a sissy than the actual homosexuals. So I don't be getting this because y'all be just as messy, if not worse. So he can come out and say whatever the hell he want to say. We saw the receipts. Armand did not assert himself in anything. He was lumped or pushed into it because it's like, if I'm just a regular, like you say, even me, if I was a part of that panel, it doesn't matter if you let me know who I need to watch out for, whatever the case was. First of all, I'm grown. I got a mind of my damn own. I know I've got a pretty good judgment of character when it comes to people. Now, sometimes I will slip up, but 9 times out of 10, I got a pretty good judgment of character when I can smell a snake in the damn grass. And I've always been pretty good at maneuvering through that shiesty shit when it comes to people. There have been some situations where it's like, you know what, never again. But like I said, many a times, 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty much spot on with my stuff. The one thing I can't stand when people do is insult my intelligence. And a lot of times it's like, I totally got where Armand was coming from in regards to that. So it makes perfect sense to me why he would just fly off the handle and get emotional. I hate when people go, well, they ain't said enough stuff for you to want to go in and go so hard and then react the way you react. First of all, y'all can suck my entire dick from the back. I can't stand people that when you poke the bear and you tell them how emotional to get. First of all, don't start none, won't be none. Don't sit up here and tell me how I should react to some shit when y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about. 9 times out of 10, you're getting basically bits and pieces of stuff based on what people are telling you at face value. You don't know all the extra stuff that literally goes on behind the scenes. A lot of times, we have the foyer for the dramatic, but we're going to present to you what we're going to present to you and give it to you directly. But you don't know necessarily at the extent of what was going on. You only know by hearsay or what people have shown you. So when people say that this is what happened to them, believe them. Don't tell people how to react to things. I can't stand that. So I feel like, yeah, Armand does have a mind of his own, but people think because he's young that he's impressionable and he's dumb. Maybe at some parts he could be impressionable. When you're young and naive, and we still have that little bit of naivete and innocence to us, even when you're a bit younger. And when you get older, you start to learn more, and you know better, you do better. So I'm sure he had a mind of his own. Nobody put a gun in his head, and they said it many times. Nobody told him to say all the stuff with the roast. And they also said the reason why Al didn't roast Armand because they said he didn't want to give him the satisfaction of really going in. So he wants to say all his shit behind the scenes, because I always feel like Al's all about reputation and how he looks in the eyes of the people, but we'll do some snake shit on your back. Those are the ones you got to fucking worry about. I respect people who are more or less upfront and in my face with some shit. I was like, you know what? I may not agree with you. I may not like your ass, but I respect you. I can't stand people that smile up in your face all the while they're trying to take your place. Them backstabbers. But anyway, so, and then also let's not forget, Child, first of all, Al Funky, we all know damn well y'all were Keke sisters the whole damn time. And what gave it away was when Al You Doing called your show while you was in the middle of it. And that's like, first of all, I'm sure he's not that dense where he didn't know that he was going live out of sheer pettiness at the same time you was doing your show. I mean, and while at the same time he was doing TGI because he wanted to stick it to them, which is a form of immaturity that Armand was pointing out throughout his live. So that should have been a dead giveaway, but I think a lot of people just overlooked that. I thought about it in my head, and I probably had mentioned it a couple of times on the show, but I'm glad that it was driven more so when Armand said it. Now, it also shows when Funky gave his side of the story that he didn't watch Armand's live, because if he did, why would you still be trying to say the roast was a contributing factor to the show getting canceled? They've tried many times to be reasonable with Al. And you've seen in that video, he don't listen. Typical fucking Gemini. Y'all don't listen. Y'all just go off the handle and start rambling and being all mad about shit. And then when you try to actually have a conversation with y'all, you get half-ass crazy. We get it from Kanye. We get it from him. I know a lot of damn Geminis. So I don't fuck with a lot of y'all. No shade. Just saying. There's a little shade on me. I know there's some people. Shout out to the Geminis that watch this show, but I'm just saying, a lot of y'all, it's hard to reason with y'all after a certain point. And if you've got somebody that's goal is to sabotage your show and all this other stuff, what do you expect? And like I said before, how can you prevent a situation from happening when it's just like, yeah, you told me everybody to watch out for it, but he said you didn't tell me about Al. And so Al was doing things behind the scenes too that he was privy to, that he became witness to, that he's seen with his own eyes. So just because he was acting away with, and this is why I can't stand with people. There's certain people that will act a certain way around certain people, but when you're not there, they do other real evil undercover type shit. I've seen things like that happen before. So start believing people when they say things instead of just going by your experience. But you don't know what was going on the 9 months after, or when was it? Because he left December, January, February, March, April. It was like a good 6-7 months. You don't know what was going on after that. All you know is hearsay based off of what Al was telling you. And also, I can't stand when people being vague. If you're going to say some shit, if you're going to make an accusation, stand 10 toes down on it. I can't stand people that just be messy and try to act like they don't want to be caught up in the mess. If you was the one that out here, you poked the bear, you put the APB out, you said all you needed to say on Carlos King's show, don't backpedal and pussy pop in your words. Those are funky, because you know he's the one that like to say backpedal and pussy pop. Don't backpedal and pussy pop. Come out and say what you need to say. And keep it 100. I can't stand people that be jumping here. Y'all be like, oh, and then when it comes down to it, you don't want to really own up to your stuff. Now, he owned up to certain things, but it also felt like he was blaming Funky. I mean, not Funky. He was blaming Armand for a lot of stuff. But I feel like at this point, let's put this shit to bed. I'm tired of talking about TGIF. Y'all was a good damn show that had a good thing going. You was capitalizing because Wendy, how you doing, Williams wasn't around no more. You know, a lot of shows wasn't really given. Nobody watches. Who the fuck still keeps up with the Breakfast Club tired asses over there? All three of them are dense. Nobody really keeps up with them. People really aren't giving the gift of gab like they used to. So y'all came in at a great time when there was like this open season for panel shows. And oh damn, my fan is starting to make this weird noise. I was like, hold on, let me adjust. But anyway, so there was a lot of things going on, and y'all had a great thing going. It's just too much messiness, not only with the talent, but the producers was being just as messy. And I'd be damned if somebody gonna sit up here and talk about he making a show too damn gay. First of all, the show was with a cis heterosexual gender, whatever the fuck y'all be saying with that, a biological woman, let's call it. You had a straight cis woman up there, Claudia, as the moderator. You had a homosexual in Funky, not even half of one with Al. So you talking about the show was being too gay? Motherfucker, what show did you think you was on? So maybe he was all upset because nobody cared about his "Where's the Outrage" segment. Because remember, at one point, he did try to go in on, you know, he made a little snide comment about, well, it took me this amount of long for me to get my segment on the show. And you just come in and they give you one. Motherfucker, why do you care? Worry about yourself. Worry about your lame-ass segment that nobody cared about. Where's the outrage? We got a whole lot of things going on in our life instead of worrying about your fake Ungawa Black Power outrage. Because I do be feeling like, because he real light-skinned, that Al be trying to overcompensate his blackness Since he want to sit up in here and want to talk shit. I got that assessment from watching the show. Like, you really be, and there be a lot of these little high yellow motherfuckers that be out here that I feel like y'all be really trying to overcompensate your blackness in a lot of ways. Like, we know you black. What you trying to prove? You still lame as a performer. But anyway, I'm ready to get off this. I'm not off the channel because we got other topics to get to. But overall, I have to say, I'm over this mess. What do y'all think of it? I see I got a lot of comments that I got to get to in regards to this. I'm ready to move on from this whole thing. I really wish this is the first and the last time that we'll be talking about TGIF and all this drama that was going on there. Y'all had a great thing. And in the words of fucking David, went and fucked up the thing. So let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so not you laughing, child. As I was called the F word in middle school. And then so my dad used to call me, oh, not Mary Corn, honey. I know what the word. I was thinking Mary Corn from Drag Race España. If you know, you know. I didn't know what it meant till that's disgusting. How do your father call you that? And it was like, I read that Friends with Benefits is becoming more popular as it's more intimate than one night stand. I think it's because you can have intimate encounters with your friends. You have a friendship, it's sex. Y'all can separate the two. And there's no commitment of being in an actual dating relationship, because I feel like a lot of that comes with a lot of baggage in regards of relationships. So people rather not get in one. They rather like, you know what, my friend is over there. Oh, he cute. Let me go slob his knob for a couple of minutes and then move on. And you said, yeah, it's very messy, child. They said, you're nasty. Okay, Raven Simone. They said, Al was, he damn sure was. That's why I call him Al. You doing? Actually is a crybaby. Okay. They said, just ask her. Well, look, why she go and marry that child? Or maybe it was because, you know, she wanted the wedding and the bells and all that other stuff so bad, you know, she went along with it. But you can't photograph it. No, you can't. You can't buy it either. That's why Katy is flopping, because that's what she's doing now. Trying to buy fans? But she got enough of the fans, just the music is tied. These people are equally messy. All of them are to blame. We're not going to sit up here and blame Armand for the situation. Like they said, this drama was good. And I'm sure Funky was privy to a lot of shenanigans that was going on behind the scenes with production, Claudia, Al, a bunch of other stuff. And a lot of people are probably wondering what caused Claudia and Al, have they beef? Because apparently, I guess it was something that got out that was with Al had said something about Claudia to Nene Leakes. And you know, Nene and her had a beef from Atlanta Housewives and those other stuff. So the whole drama transpired for them because, you know, Al need his little celebrity friends, Nene and tight ass what the hell's her name? Jennifer Williams, who apparently is marrying somebody that want her to spend $200,000 or something on some type of criminal situation that he got himself caught up in. And I'm like, if this dummy goes and pays off whatever it is, then you know. The screenshots of him saying what? Oh wait, you're talking about. They said, what is going on with Funky Lips when he be holding it like he had a stroke or something? Or maybe it was I don't know, it could be something he be doing, you know, that once upon a time, you know, he admitted he did the booger sugar back in the day. I don't know if he still does, but it said, where are the dates, time stamps, proof that he and Al spoke to the producers? Exactly. And that's what I want to know too, is like, you sit up there and say, oh, I went and I spoke to this one, I spoke to that one. Where is the receipts? Like, Al had receipts. I mean, not Al, because Al ain't talking. Al talking through other people like Funky Dineva, and everybody else is his spokeswoman. But where are the receipts? Because Claudia came with hers. She was the one that's who phone that came from. That was her. She recorded that Zoom call with her phone. And that was smart for her to do that because they messy over there. And then Armand had the text messages. So how is it that they all had receipts and was smart enough to think about that, but y'all didn't? So I'm not buying it. Like I said, when I tell you I used to live for this show, it's crazy how all this mess is going on behind the scenes and nobody wants it. Exactly. And that's why that show will never come back. Where is Al friend about the that's a good question. I'm trying to remember if he talked or something or another the other day, because I think I did see a Twitter feed that he did speak on something or another, but I just didn't care because one time he called into another show and he was windmilling hard for Al. I was like, child, get this queen off my line. I don't care what she had to say. It was like not Al banging on the table too, but he was tapping his fingers, doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, okay, no, all right, niece. You better tap on that desk. Hey, Miss Taro. You said, like I said, they are messy and backstabbing. Exactly. And this kind of makes you not want to trust people in regards of doing them panel shows. And it said, that makes me think of Teresa Meltdown on the Jersey Housewives when she flipped it. She was doing, child, did you see last week's episode of the Jersey Housewives? You think that flipping of the table was bad. You should have seen last week's episode. Oh my God, I forgot the watch party reunion watch party is on tonight. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow, Chair. A whole lot of mess. Said Claudia don't lie, but she throwing everyone under the bus. Well, yeah, and she did take responsibility for some of the stuff that she said in regards to, because in that Armand video when she calls up, she did say like in the beginning she was being messy and she said some stuff too. So she owned up to a lot of the things that she did as well. And you said heavily gay, but why not just gay? Because Al behavior is given heavily gay, like a flow cycle. Like he was really going in. They said you could call a snake out quick. Okay. Well, yeah, So nobody like Al. They even said he only married Star Jones. Probably. And that's why when people say, oh, he was in media, he's been doing media. I said, what media? Because as long as I've been doing media, I ain't never seen Al out here in any of these circles. And let me tell you this, the many media situations, red carpets that I've never had to pay for a cameraman or show up with my own equipment. Well, actually, you do have to show up with your own equipment. But I've never had to pay it or get the credential stuff. Like, I've always had people do that for me. So you don't know the right people over there at Fox Soul. Or Fox Soul don't know the right people. There are three sides to everything. Absolutely. And I feel like even though we've heard all these receipts and all this other stuff came out, I feel like we still ain't going to get all the tea. I still think there's still a lot that we don't know. So everybody's saying this one fall, this one, like it feel like an episode of Drag Race. Are your team Armand? Are your team Claudia? Or your team Al you doing? It's like, I don't even know at this point. I said they hated Al. The fans said he married Star Jones to get the family. Yeah, quiet as it's kept. Nobody really liked Al. Remember back in the day when he married Star, nobody liked him. The women of the View didn't like him. They used to clown him in the press over, they said, oh, well, are they like the black David Guest and Liza Minnelli? Like that's what it was given. And how Star was a damn bridezilla. And they said, have you heard Tina Turner? No, but that's why I was thinking, I probably have heard it, but I was thinking of the classic song. They smile in your face all that time. They want to take your place. Is this where May Geminis get a bad rep? I.e. Mel B and the Spice Girls, Kylie Minogue. I'm getting the vibe that in this sign, the later half of the month gets the bad rep because of more proper time of the sign. Probably. One thing with me is if I say it behind, wait, hold on. If I say it behind your back, I'll say it to your face, as you should. I said that's the thing with keyboard warriors. They say shit they never say to your face. Exactly. You know me. I stand 10 toes down on what I say. It's like Lindsay know my mouth. The many years we've known each other. But anyway, let's move on from one show to another, and let's talk about The View. Because we was a swirling that the show was on the verge of cancellation. So it says now that The View has concluded its 27th season and will return in September covering all new hot topics, rumors are swirling that the long-running chat fest may be on the verge of cancellation. Now, Radar Online is reporting that while the show is unlikely to go off the air before the November 5th presidential election, its future beyond that point remains uncertain. Now, a TV veteran insider shared the following. They said the larger issue is that while the show continues to be profitable for ABC and its affiliated TV stations, the audiences are declining every year and they're getting older every year. The source also added, they said that's not a reversible trend and it's why it's a ticking clock on this franchise. Wait, that don't make no sense. First of all, how you saying it's not a reversible trend when in fact, if it's The View, I think that I don't know if you want to pander. I don't even think they could pander to a younger audience at this point. Younger people ain't watching TV like that. Quiet as it's kept. All they do is watch streaming services. I know I do. And the only way I watch the view is on Hulu. So I don't really watch, I don't watch TV. Like, meaning I don't have cable and other stuff. I use streaming services and Wi-Fi, which is basically what a lot of the younger demographic does. But anyway, they said with a female in the presidential race, the View could be an important place to discuss the election and even to hear from politicians themselves ahead of November's vote, which is what they've been doing for the past couple of years. And I have noticed the energy has shifted once they got rid of Biden and they put Kamala in his place. It's got that same energy that we got during the Obama, run. So, Radar Online previously reported co-hosts Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, Alyssa Farrah Griffin, Joy Behar, and Sarah Haynes all weighed in on Republican. Well, actually, y'all forgot one. You forgot to put in Anna Navarro. There's 6 co-hosts, not 5. Already waiting on Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump's attack on his Democratic rival, Vice President Kamala Harris. They all slammed the former president, who's 78, after he questioned if Harris, 59, was actually Black while speaking at the National Association of Black Journalists convention. And we have more to that story because we have a story coming up about how Hercules and Xena, aka Lucy Lawless and Kevin Sorbo, are going at it because Kevin Sorbo racist ass all of a sudden, or radicalized behind, because she's, according to her, he wasn't like that before in the 90s. But now, I guess because there's money in grifting, as Trump has shown, she's basically weighing in on this whole situation about people questioning her race, which is basically similar to the birther mess that Trump was doing when Obama was running. Because apparently everybody's, who's of color is not legal. Meanwhile, his ass shouldn't be here either, because quiet as it's kept, the United States belonged to the indigenous people. If you want to go back to history, them books y'all trying to ban in certain states? So they said at the time, she said, let's be truthful about it because the Holocaust isn't about race. It's not about race. It's not about race. It's about a man's inhumanity to man. This is what the whole situation they're referring to when Goldberg got suspended back in 2002 because she said the Holocaust wasn't about race, which I think that people who aren't Jewish believe that Holocaust wasn't necessarily about, is that your racial identity or whatever the case is? I think a lot of times if you're not of that situation, a lot of people are confused as what is the Holocaust really about? What is the whole, Judaism and all that other stuff? So that's what I think the confusion is there. And this is what comes in when I made that comment before in regards of Jenna Ortega, when we talked about her in this show in regards to them firing Melissa Barrera over her comments regarding, the Israel-Gaza conflict. Where she was saying, you know what, when people put things on social media, when people say things on programs, whatever the case is, why can't we have the conversation where we talk things out and try to understand where people are coming from before we already immediately start to cancel people? I don't like that whole cancel culture thing. Now I understand accountability, holding people accountable for things that they say, and I feel like we need to rephrase that word because I feel like when y'all talk about cancel, they said something I don't like, they should be fired. They need to lose their livelihood. We need to destroy them to the point where they unalive themselves. Why does it always have to go to an extreme when it comes to certain things? Why can't we just have the ability to have conversations and have an open dialogue? Now, if somebody ain't willing to listen and learn, then I can understand that. But we need to offer people the grace to understand or try to understand where they're coming from or what they're saying. And then you have to take the time to explain it to them. I know, why do I have to explain? Because you do. When you're a minority, you have to explain things to certain people. Although I will say this, I did like the joke that they said when I worked the Kill Tony show. One of the comics said, Black people, please don't explain racism to us. They said we invented, the sport. we invented racism. We wrote the book on it. He said actually we wrote a couple of books. So it's like white people are well aware of the shit that they say and their racism and all that other stuff. And they got the racial blind spots, but they're well aware. Let's not try to act like that people are just stupid. They're well aware of the stuff that comes out of their mouth. Otherwise, they wouldn't say it. And then they also said that Goldberg remained on the show because she's a gifted communicator and interviewer, and also because she's just has a way of getting right to the heart of the matter and get the show headlines. So they were living for the headlines, but they also didn't want the backlash. So they were like, oh, let's just, smack you in the hand a little bit. Let's just suspend you. So that way, the powerful Jewish people that work behind the scenes don't try to get us canceled. So they had to take some kind of disciplinary action. However, when you see all these other bigots that be out here not even on, could we include social media in that? Or just network television, where they say all kinds of crazy stuff over there at Fox News, and they still get to keep their damn job until it gets to a point where you have to pay $700+ million in a settlement. Then I guess that's the only way you're going to get fired over at Fox News. So they also went on, at the end of the day, let me just wrap this story up. I'm not buying this story, number one, because it's like, to me, if you look at the numbers, The View is one of the most watched shows on ABC, and it's averaging 2.6 million viewers, and that was back in January. So they have a pretty good demographic. First of all, it is like a no man's land in daytime television. There's not a lot of really good daytime shows on there. Daytime is just boring and lame right now. So The View doesn't really have that much, quiet as it's kept, a lot of competition to be fighting off. It's a lot of game shows, it's a lot of court shows, and you had to talk, but they canceled that. You got Tamron Hall, you got Sherry Shepherd, you got Kelly and her, Kelly Riverborn ass and her husband. And so you got the same old shows, and all the morning news shows, like the Today Show, Good Morning America, the show that Oprah's Sister Sisters on, the one on CBS. They got all them shows over there. But I do think, like, you know what, they need to lighten a little bit up on politics, because a lot of times y'all just be giving that kids table version. Y'all get the Fisher Price version of politics. Over there, I guess y'all just think that your audience is a little slow and they're not going to understand the complexities of politics. But I don't feel like y'all really talk policy stuff on that show. And I guess because, you got to pay off your Ozempic commercials and your tampon commercials and your menopausal pills or whatever it is that y'all be promoting over there. So, you don't want to mess up the advertisers. So they're not really going to go in and give you real political stuff like you would get on a show like Roland Martin. So I get what The View is. The View is not where I get all of my politics. I listen to what they got to say, and I'm just like, okay, girl, whatever. Or they stupid little Reddit segments. Or that other segment they actually brought back the other day where they dropped like a hot topic thing from the sky and they pull it open. I was like, child, is that a damn producer come up with that stupid idea? That idea is so dumb. Because we're not really talking about nothing over there. So if y'all trying to skew it younger, I don't see that happening. Because out of everybody, the youngest person on that panel is Alyssa Farrah Griffin. She's a millennial. I think she's like 34. So who y'all gonna get with just her up there? Being, bringing the younger demographic in. I don't see that happening. So yeah, this story with this whole situation regarding the show, I'm not buying it. I don't believe that the show is going away. The show's been on for too damn long. They're not canceling it. And my parents love The View. I know a lot of older people that love The View. My friend DJ Baker, he belongs to a whole The View chat situation where they chat to people from the that are fans of The View. They have a whole View timeline situation, and they be up in there talking about the what they be talking about on the show and throwing shade at Brian, because I don't like him as a producer. I was like, I don't know what y'all got him. I mean, Bill Getty's dead, so they ain't got him over there. But they need somebody to liven up the show a little bit. So who knows? Maybe we'll see in the future what they plan on doing with the show, but that's just the way it is. Also, sidebar, I want to give a congratulations to Whoopi Goldberg because she has a new job. The EGOT winner has signed on to play Miss Hannigan in Annie the Musical, which is actually coming to the theater at Madison Square Garden. So who knows? I might actually be working that show since I'm at the Garden. The theater is a smaller theater within MSG. So she's going to be there. They said that according to Parade Magazine, they said the musical is slated to run for 5 weeks from December 4th, 2024 to January 5th, 2025. And she's going to play Miss Hannigan from December 11th until January 5th. So if y'all want to see Whoopi Goldberg up there being a mean old lady to them little kids, which I'm sure won't be that much acting. I mean, she got a bunch of grands and great grands. Y'all could definitely go check out the show on when it comes to the theater in December. And that'd be like a cute little run. But anyway, let me to wrap this up, because I just want to give her that cute little congratulations. What do y'all think of this story? Are y'all buying that The View is going to get canceled. I don't think the show is going anywhere. I think this is a bunch of hocus pocus. Radar Online, y'all be having some good tea, but I feel like y'all missed out on the real tea in revealing whether or not the show's going away. Unless y'all got some real juicy sources, I'm not buying what y'all selling. But it was a nice try, though. So let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, now speaking of comments, you said that's the thing we keep. Oh, yeah, I read that one already. He said, I've been watching The View since it used to come on at 3 a.m. That show was an institution, much like SNL. Okay? The View is not going anywhere. They'll switch out the co-host before they cancel it. They make too much money with that show. The only time a keyboard warrior was brave was when he came out to Iggy Azalea and said, "Thank you for ruining pop." Her face was like, I wanted to unalive myself right now. She looked sad. Oh yeah, that's just mean. As also because we've heard worse. I mean, child, Sexy Red and Ice Spice. Y'all talking about Iggy Azalea ruined hip hop. Have you heard that shit? I mean, you know that shit they call music. I saw the trailer for the new SNL movie. Oh yeah, I did hear about that. I haven't seen the trailer though, but I did know that it was coming. No, see, I told you that it was old. A lot of older people watching. You know what? I forgot to bring up on the show as a hot topic. Congratulations, they're creating a spinoff of A Different World. I'm actually excited about that. They're doing it, they're going to base it around Whitley and Dwayne Wayne's daughter. So apparently she goes to Hillman College, and then I guess they're going to show how Hillman has progressed since back in the 90s. I really think that's a great idea because it's like you still focusing on Hillman, but you have someone who is the child of people who had such a huge reputation back then at Hillman College, which was Whitley and Dwayne and all the other people. So I don't know if they'll probably bring other cast members back to be teachers or whatever the case, you know, professors or whatever that's there. Because remember, at one point they were students. So it'd be interesting to see like if some of them actually work at the HBC, you know, work at, you know, HBCU, or some of them run the sorority or fraternity, whatever the case is, and they really touch on those hot topics that they touched on back in the day, because I still love the original A Different World series. So hearing about this, I'm actually excited about what they're going to do with that, because it reminds me, I was like, yeah, remember when they did Blackish, the spinoff to Grown, which was, you know, Grownish became the spinoff to Blackish, where we got to see two of the kids from the Blackish show go off to college, and then we have, you know, there's been other show, Bel Air. You know, we have the spinoff of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So it seems like to be an ongoing trend of doing a sequel series actually works. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully they do the show justice. The Holocaust is about the genocide of people who belong to the Jewish religion. It had to do with religion, not race. Jews come in many. Exactly. So for them to go in on her with that whole situation, I felt like the suspension was incorrect in regards to that. So when they talk about, a lot of people don't believe that, you know, that whole thing was race baited. It was based off of, you know, religion, which is what, if you really want to talk, a lot of these wars are rooted in religion. Even what's going on with, you know, the killing of Palestinians, you know, the Muslim faith. So when we talk about these sort of things, it seems like if you really pay attention to a lot of the wars and stuff going on, it's all rooted in religion. He said probably Trump campaign trying to take them out. He said we refer to Fox News as Fox, or I call it faux news, FAUX, or it's a propaganda network. I watched the interview with Trump's nephew where he said Donald took it. Yeah, I watched the same thing. He was on The View. I watched The View. This is for my girls all around the world. Stand up, put your hand up, all that thing, however the hell that rest of that song go. I told her I watched the show. I'm a fan. There's even my other favorite podcast, My View on the View. Oh yeah, I watch that every now and again when she be dropping some juicy tea about the show. But I wonder if she spoke on this, and if she did, I would love to hear what her thoughts are. She's probably gonna call it a bunch of BS too. But I do think they need to judge up the show. I don't think you need to cater to a younger demographic. I mean, you could bring young people on the show. And plus, let's also not forget, you know, some people get irritated by how Whoopi comes across as dismissive when it comes to talking about young people, especially when you have, who is it? I think Alyssa said some things about the younger audience, and also because Sunny Hostin is raising 2 Gen Zers, she also comes to the defense a lot of times, but I always hate when y'all do that around Whoopi, because Whoopi is very dismissive with it. It's like, but yeah, we had to, girl, we ain't talking about your old boomer ass. We talking about what younger people are enduring in this time frame. A lot of the times, like, what y'all say, the children are our future. Stop being dismissive of their feelings and things. Because I think Iggy was always going to be doomed to fail with Nicki popularity at the time and her being a white tea girl from Australia with a black accent. I really wish she would have just did her accent. She should have just did her Australian accent. That probably would have been cute. I didn't want to go because that's what her raps be sounding like. I was like, girl, where that black accent come from? And it said there was mixed. Oh yeah, I did like that show. It only lasted one damn season. But you said Alyssa Farrell, she ain't 39. Hold on. Because I think I closed out the article, so she's 35. She was born June 15th, 1989. So same year as Miss Taylor Swift. Yeah, I did like first of all, anything with Mark Paul Gosselaar. Is anything with Mark Paul Gosselaar I'm watching, because I'm like, ooh, I used to have the biggest crush on Zach Morris back in the days of Saved by the Bell. So anytime, even when he showed his booty on NYPD Blue, I was watching. So yeah, I did like Mixed-ish, but it just didn't work. It said MVMO has done several stories on a potential View cancellation, and she seems to be worried about it. I like most of her commentary, although she could be randomly homo. Oh, I know that about her. Because I'm like, sis, if that's what you're doing, then it's like, Well, I read that read. It said bring musical performances and regular entertainment, but the sad thing is they moved it to the news division. That's another thing too. They really need to bring back performances and stuff, and not only do it when it's somebody's birthday. Like when it was Alyssa's birthday, y'all had Hanson up there, and I like Hanson because I grew up with Hanson. But at the same time, like give the people other stuff too. Don't just keep it news stuff, or we got to be live, or Corinne Jean-Pierre, or Pete Booty Plug, or whoever the case is. Like, let people come on and really make it a talk show again. Sometimes it'd be too damn depressing when all y'all want to talk about is the latest Donald Trump shenanigans, which dominates the news. It gets annoying after a time, and it becomes one note that every day it's something about Donald Trump and some stupid shit he said, because he knows regardless of what he says, he makes headlines. So it would be nice if y'all could do your hot topics and y'all could talk the politics and the relationship stuff. Well, you see Sonny get damn jealous every time when they do the jealous in the relationship stuff, because she get very possessive. Probably gonna have Latina side coming out. And all that other stuff. And that's another thing too. So you trying to say that because she went to an HBCU too. So does that mean that Sunny Hostin's less of a black woman because she's half Puerto Rican, half black? So let's not, I don't like the idea of these clear people coming out here just, diminishing someone's level of who they are race-wise because they're of mixed race. It's like, let's not do that, because you can't tell me I'm less black because my father's black and my mother's not. So I acknowledge all of who I am, not just acknowledging one side. And people of mixed race will do that either. And nobody's ever heard Kamala Harris come out and say she was a full-fledged Indian woman, or all these other stupid things that they come out. And then who's that other coon, the little brown skin one that was on the thing with George Stephanopoulos, and George had to read him down to the floor because he was coming out here being messy. It's like, girl, if y'all don't stop being out here tap dancing for these clear folk that wouldn't even piss on your ass if you was on fire. Also, Mariah Carey saying to mix this theme. So, well, it made sense to have her there because she's a mixed woman, in the words of Al, woman. I don't know how somebody can't say woman. It's like, child, woman, not woman. Woman, let me be your woman. Woman. Shout out to Doja Cat. I do love that song. When I don't think Barbara Walters didn't want that. She was a mixture of everything. Yeah, I don't think she would too. She'd be rolling over in her grave if she was buried. I don't know. She was buried or she was cremated. If she cremated, she might be flipping, all her dust particles might be flipping somewhere in the ether. 1989 is the year of the snake. Oh, you know, Taylor Swift was born in 1989. What you trying to say? I'm being messy. Yes, Pete Booty Plug. Because I'm like, I ain't saying booty shit. I'm like, trying to sound like Pete Booty Plug. Like, I'm talking about phobic. Can it be homophobic if a homosexual actually made the joke? No. But anyway, child, let's move on to this mess. Let's talk about Katy Perry flopping yet again. Okay, so I'm sure by this time, y'all heard Lifetimes. And it seems to be that Miss Perrykins is still in her damn flop era. It's like, girl, what is going on? Why are people not gravitating to these basic ass pop songs? Well, we'll get into that. So yes, we definitely need to sit and have a conversation about Katy's current flop era. So now, while first single Woman's World, you know, I'm gonna just fuck with Al all day with that. Came and went like a fart in the wind. Perry rushed to release a second single, Lifetimes, along with its music video, but fans are once again not impressed. Now, after one day of streaming, Katy Perry's second single, Lifetime, performed poorly on global Spotify with a debut at number 145. The song received 1.426 million streams. Well, I would think, well, I guess for her it's bad. But look, many artists out here would kill to have that many streams. So I tried to find a silver lining in there somewhere. Now, in case you haven't been following the chart data, Woman's World debuted at number 58 with 2.25 million streams, but fell out of the top 200 after just one day. This song, despite being catchier yet outdated, will probably meet a similar fate. It also debuted at number 198 on US Spotify with 351K streams. That'd be 1,000 for those who don't know what K is. Now, in less than 24 hours after the single's debut, fans, of course, because you know we always love what the people say on social media, they took to social media to tear Lifetimes to shreds. Now, one person commented on Reddit, "This feels kind of beneath someone of her stature. She went in too hard on the camp on Woman's World, and then this feels personality devoid." Or you could have just said devoid of personality, but here I go being a wordsmith. Say it's like something an artist like Jess Glynn would do. Now, why Jess got to get that stray? What kind of generic Ibiza Love Island type music? Child, well, it do sound like that. Baby, that's why the Spaniards is living for it. Because, you know, she's doing well in Latin America, so maybe they like that basic ass beach music. Me, I'm like, I need a little more in my house music. I need a little more bass. I need a little more treble. I need a little more, I need a little something. I need a little je ne sais quoi, a little oomph. And it don't seem like her team of people were even trying. Or maybe y'all don't listen to enough house music. A second fan penned, "It's fine. I danced to it in the club, but just like Woman's World, it lacks substance. It's flat. I'm going to need her to start digging a little deeper, although it's probably far too late for that." Well, child, if you're expecting deep from Katy Perry, then I got a bunch of houses in Boca to sell you, and I'm not even in real estate. A third added, "I can see any British pop girly, doing this song. There's no flavor." Well, damn, why the British girls got to get it? First of all, the British girls, they be delivering some bops. So we're not going to entirely, start throwing daggers at the Brit girls. As a fourth agreed, "This song is generic nonetheless." Yet another critique, "This song needed another texture added to it, a guitar riff, a breakdown. Hell, I'd settle for a rap feature. Might as well lean all the way into the 2013s. No, the problem is the reason why it's missing all those things is because songs now, a lot of y'all, let me remix a Katy Perry song, chained to the algorithm. So that's what it feels like at this point. It just feels like a lot of y'all are slaves to the rhythm, chained to the algorithm. And it's like, we need to make sure this song is under 3 minutes. So we need to remove different, verses and a bridge and all this other stuff. It's like, no, some of these songs feel unfinished and it doesn't feel fulfilling. I don't want a song that just gives me we don't need songs that to be the length of a theme song for a TV show or a jingle. Like, we need substance to the music. And I feel like songs are getting too damn short. And yeah, they're lacking substance. which is what she's being read for. Now, others couldn't help but argue that Lifetimes is yet another single that doesn't show Perry's new futuristic era for the album, which makes sense because, girl, so confusing. I had to throw a Charlie reference up in there. Speaking of which, there was a drag queen that actually performed Girl So Confused. Bitch, I damn near fell out because that was like one of my favorite songs off her album. And two girls got up there and did, one did the Charlie verse and the other one did the Lord verse. I was living. But anyway, let's get back to her. So this era is confusing. You had the Arca-ass robotic legs. You were giving futuristic girl tease. That's what we were expecting to get from this record. But so far, we've gotten two generic ass dance pop songs. Or can we even consider Woman's World to be like a dance pop track? I think it's more like your generic pop song. Lifetimes is your generic dance pop song, but it's not giving us any of that futuristic aesthetic that should match the music. The visuals ain't matching what we're hearing. So one said this whole era is just so confusing. She had something good going with the last era visuals before she did the whole smile clown thing and dropped the flowery / hippie aesthetic. Witness was pretty cool despite the mess around it. None of these songs sound sleek and futuristic. Another agreed the robot legs make even less sense now. Another fan thought the single was better than Woman's World, but didn't think it'd save 143. The fan wrote a Katy Perry video about cringeworthy, goofy moments. It's a miracle. They should help salvage some of the damage caused by Woman's World. Whether it's enough to save the era, though, another argued, there's nothing left to salvage. She ruined any hype or momentum with Woman's World. This song is not saving anything. In a statement, Perry explained the meaning behind Lifetime, saying the song was about eternal love. Well, she said that she wrote it for her daughter Daisy. And she said she wrote it with her good friend and longtime collaborator, Sarah Hudson, along with incredible Vaughn Oliver. Well, maybe you need to fire them both because they both give you turds. Perry has noted that the song is about feeling that one deep and satisfying love of your life. Personally, I don't think a soulmate will always come in the form of a partner. It can come in all different ways. A child, the best friend, a pet. You'll find each other over and over again for lifetimes. After it dropped, fans also shared their opinions on Twitter. So we've been traveling a lot of places. We went to Reddit and we're going to Twitter. Who approved these lyrics, girl? Lyrically, that's garbage. Sonically, it's generic, radio-friendly pop songs that lacks character, which I can say about no other Katy Perry single, one user stated on Twitter. Another said, I think the songwriters were on strike. This is what a person wrote on YouTube. Katy Perry's new song sucks, a third wrote. Now, having only dropped the new track on Thursday, Perry is already receiving hate, which started when news broke that she collaborated with Kesha's abuser, Dr. Luke, alleged, I should say, for the lead track titled Woman's World. And let's also point out that he's got a producer stamp on Lifetimes. So it's not just the other thing it's on Lifetime too. She thought she got slipped by removing it, but yeah, we know he was on it. So clearly there's a shame there. I don't know why you would risk your career doing that. Now, I don't know. It's just this whole situation is a mess. But here's the thing. Let's just go down to the whole situation. Now, look, not everybody hated the thing though. They said some took to her defense. One person said Katy Perry is going to rock the world again. Another person put, I love this song. And so me, you already know how I feel. When I heard the song, I was like, the best thing about the song, I will give it this. The chorus is cute. That's about it. Now, visually, it's cute, beachy, fun vibe. I like the fact that they shot it in Spain. I like the whole idea of her kind of being out at the club and having a good time and just partying and all the other stuff. Like, it was cute or whatever. But I don't care how much booty cheeks you show in your video. I don't care how much boobs you have. You have your boobs hanging down to your knees. It's not going to be enough to save this song in this upcoming era. So I don't know. It just so far, it just feels like, when we've been getting a lot of experimental dance music from Beyonce's Renaissance, Charlie XCX's Brat, Adam Lambert's Afters EP. We got Tove Lo's Heat EP. We also have, there's a lot of people that's been out here dropping really good dance music. It just feels like uninspired, It's dated. Like you literally were just going through the motions recording this because you felt like this was a long time I've been gone. And it just feels like it's just some obligation that you did for Capitol, where it was just like, okay, girl, you've been gone long enough. You had the residency for a long time. You need to do something. You got to fulfill your contract, put out some new music, do whatever. And it just feels like you were just going through the emotions. Like I feel like you're just so comfortable in your whole you now with all the money you made from American Idol and everything else that maybe creatively she doesn't have anything to say with the music. So maybe that's what it is. So I don't know. I just feel like in America, there's no overall excitement. I haven't seen people being overly excited for this new record. And so far, the singles aren't helping. And we already know Nelly Furtado's album comes out the same day. I think Jamie XX has an album coming out the same day, which he has a song with Robin that's out now, and it's I Live For It. And now, one of the things I'm worried about is this tour. I'm sure she's going to be touring this album. If the songs aren't hitting, it also remains to have me wondering, are people excited to see Katy Perry live on stage? I don't know if there's an audience that would pay money to see her in an arena. Maybe she'll do well at Madison Square Garden, which is the #1 arena in the world. There's no shade in any other arena, but Madison Square Garden is Madison Square Garden for a reason. People love the fact that when you come to New York, and if you can sell at Madison Square Garden, that is the ultimate dream for a lot of people because of the history of MSG. So, but in regards to that, is there overall excitement for a tour? I feel like we have a Jennifer Lopez type of disaster on her team does on their hands because I don't see that people like they don't understand like we were saying and from reading the comments, the whole era is confusing. People don't understand what are the visuals you're trying to convey, what is this album about? There's no clear vision. And if people aren't understanding what the tour is, which was the messed up part on Henniffer's part, because people wasn't buying into the whole "this is me now" era, nobody cared. And then when you came on and were trying to sell us that mediocre ass album, as you was going to try to think you was Madonna and going to sell us all them tracks while you were performing it on the tour, nobody wanted to listen to it on Spotify and Apple Music. What makes you think, outside of the her fans, what makes you think they wanted to hear that live? People want to hear Jenny from the Block. People want to hear all the hits. Same thing with Katy. If people aren't here for this thing, how are you planning on marketing this upcoming tour? Either you better make them tickets really cheap, which I don't even know if she has control over doing that, because if you're going through Ticketmaster and Live Nation and all those other people, remember they give you an advance, they got to take a cut and all this other stuff. And if those tickets aren't ticketing, what they're going to do is they're going to drop those tickets down, as we've heard so many times from so many other artists, where they're probably making $10 so they can sell out the arena. So I don't know. I just feel like, Katy, I know you probably in crisis mode right now. I don't know what to tell you to salvage the rest of this album. I just feel like it's DOA. I guess you're going to have to go forward because there's been a lot of money spent by the label to sell the hell out of this album. Maybe she has a chance of selling it overseas. I don't know if the UK don't care because we already read the Spotify numbers, and America doesn't care because I read y'all the Spotify numbers. So I don't know. But anyway, I asked all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? What do you think she could do to salvage the rest of this album? Is it redeemable? Is it not redeemable? And do you think that, what is it going to have to take for her to actually be able to get people interested in wanting to see her on a tour? She may have to just be like, fuck the tour and do another residency, because that seemed to be where the Coin Todders was in Vegas. Do another residency, but if she want to take but I'm sure her ego, she wants to try the whole tour arena thing. I know one friend to the show, Robert, has said theater. She ain't doing no damn theater. Her ego would not be able to take no damn theater. She's big things because she was on American Idol and all these other things, and she's an A-list celebrity, and she is, that she needs to be selling out arenas. So we'll see what happens, because I'm sure when them tickets go on sale, and there'll be many stories about how well it's doing, and you already know me being my nosy behind will be here dissecting pulling the seating chart and all that stuff. So in regards to all of that, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's go to the comments. Oh, you said 1984 is the year of the rat. Katy Perry was They love to eat rats, do they? And it said Dr. Luke wrote and produced a track dedicated to her daughter Daisy. She's trying to act like that he wasn't a part of it. Son did that show where they check your genes, and she had no Spanish Puerto Rican blood in her. She's white and black. Who? Oh, you're talking about Sunny Hostin? Oh yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I know her husband is half Spaniard, which is like, or maybe she's like a white Latina. I don't know. I remember she did that, but you might be right. It's a generic pop songs do fall into dance pop. Oh, not Ava Max. The more experimental or futuristic. You mean Lady Gaga's doppelganger, or futuristic songs, or electro pop, hyper pop? Well, I like more of the experimental stuff. And one thing, say what you want about Beyonce, but at least she was experimenting with her house music sound and kind of making it her own type of vibe. And Charlie XCX is kind of doing like this, hyper pop, electro pop, which reminds me a lot of Electro Clash, where it kind of has that whole vibe, but it's cleaner. I feel like Electro Clash was more rock and roll, very messy, sleazy, which is what I live for. Like when I went to what was it? When I told you I went to Meatball's party, Fat Slut, which was amazing. I forgot to tell y'all what the Fat Slut thing is. So they had like this contest where this was so gross because they had to like put like this tarp down on the floor. So basically they picked people from the audience, and Meatball made like the grossest stuff, like hot dogs and rice and ravioli and all kinds of nastiness. She made it into like a Jello mold and put it on a plate. And what you had to do was kind of like do all kind of. She basically wanted them to fuck the food. And there was a lot of explicitness going on over there, and I was like, I was so disgusted and appalled, but I was also living. So I was like, oh my God. And literally my ass was in the front. So I know like some of that stuff was going to fly on me. I was hiding behind my friend the whole time to make sure like a lot of it didn't get on my clothes. But some did. One part, so now this is why I'm touching my hair, because some got in my hair at one point. And so, yeah, it was gross. But then there was one part where this cute ass Spanish boy came out and got down to his underwear and started like taking he had like a cake or whatever. It started smear all over his body, put up in his booty crack, and one person ate it out his butt. I'm like, girl, it was a mess, but I was living. I said, yeah, this y'all get down in Brooklyn. I need to take trips out there more often. They would never do that in Hell's Kitchen. But anyway, they said Katy is slaughtered because she is not being authentic, and working with Dr. Luke was a career-killing decision. Absolutely. Is that she's not, and that's why I said this is like authenticity. A lot of people want that sound and vibe. They want that from their artist. It's about authenticity. They can relate you in some sort of way, and she's not relatable. I was born in 1976, the year of the dragon. So you'll be, what year are we in? Oh, so you'll be in 2 years, you'll be 50. 50 years old. So that's kind of gross. She dedicated a song done by a predator to her daughter. Well, alleged, and I guess he helped her write it. But yeah, she's talking about directing it. But I'm like, you needed that many writers for that generic answer? Like people was clowning her over the lyrics. How can Sarah Hudson write DJ Play a Christmas Song and the Tiger track for Cher, and they're epic as fuck, but give Katy Perry scrap? I guess they're really showing Katy as a trash artist. Yeah, that is a good question. But maybe it depends on the people you work with. Because it's like, yeah, DJ Play a Christmas Song, that was a cute song. Cher Forever, Nelly for Title 7. These two will go top 10, and Taylor Swift be number 1 again, while Katy might be top 15, which is better than J-Lo. Okay. I said, to me, Katy comes across vapid and doesn't really have anything important to say. I never would have heard of her until later if Madonna hadn't mentioned her in the interview she did with Ryan Seacrest. And yeah, that's probably why her career is why Katy Perry had her moment, because it was like between Lady Gaga and so many of the other artists, she came in and just gave y'all, crazy costumes and shooting whipped cream out of her boobs and just being a fun, silly, whatever. And a lot of little kids lived for what she was doing. But you have to realize a lot of her fans have grown up. So they're not little kids anymore. They're like, I would think that people who started out as Katy Perry fans are probably Olivia Rodrigo fans now. They're probably listening to her. They probably don't even listen to Katy Perry anymore. Unless you're a homosexual. You know, some of them basic gays, they live for her music still. It's like, I don't think she can save this shit show of an hour. It's like Katy needs to do some, not ayahuasca. I want to try that. And so she needs to get in her Sunset Boulevard bag and just be a sugar cougar. You mean like Lady Gaga? Because Lady Gaga definitely be giving me Miss Norma Desmond in the way she carry herself. Yes, it did. I'm definitely there for Electro Clash, but I feel like hyperpop has kind of evolved into, well, Electro Clash has evolved into hyperpop. I live for a lot of the messiness of Electro Clash and that whole vibe. I live for Miss Peaches and all the other ones. Oh, my back. And child, let's not forget about Miss Amanda Lepore. She was putting out a lot of music back then too. You know, My Pussy is still one of my favorite songs. There's a trans woman talking about her vagina. Who could have came up with that? Smart. I think it was Caswell that helped wrote that song or something or another. I was obsessed with Katy when I was like 5 or 6. She had the Sims game, Part of Me documentary, iTunes purchase. I was begging my dad for all her merch. The kids that grew up listening to Katy are now listening. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Is that that grew up with her? They're listening to. They probably listen to all of them. They probably listen to Charlie. They're probably listening to Sabrina. They're probably listening to Olivia. They're probably listening to all the girls. I don't know about Tate McRae. Why is she not part of the conversation? But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Hannaful. It's like a day doesn't go by when we don't talk about Miss Hannaful. So, according to reports, it looks like Hannaful's entourage is celebrating the breakup of Bennifer because they saying he an a-hole. They don't like him. We don't like that bitch. I don't see her. So Ben Affleck was never a favorite within Jennifer Lopez's trusted inner circle, but they went along with the relationship anyway, including the Argo star's once most vocal critic, Benny Medina. Lopez's longtime manager disdain for Affleck dates back to the star couple's failed engagement in the aughts, according to Page 6. Now, the two of them can't stand each other. They don't get along and they're still bad blood. This is what a source told Page 6. Now, Medina was instrumental in making Lopez, who famously began her career as a dancer on the 90s sketch show In Living Color, a A-list global superstar, but she parted ways with him in 2003. Sources said that Affleck was a factor in that decision at the time. Now, Lopez then rehired Medina a few years later after she and Affleck called off their engagement in 2004, and the showbiz whiz has been one of her most trusted confidants ever since, which kind of makes you think the timeline. If she fired him before the whole situation and then rehired him after, it goes to show that Benny Medina was probably the only one that could tolerate Hurricane Hannaful. And nobody understood and could deal with a lot of her BS than he could. And how Ben was the one probably, while he was laying that pipe and she's on her come down mode, baby, if you come on down, on her love come down, child. He probably was whispering all that shady shit in her ear, and she was going along with it because she was love spent. So they said that he's apparently been bummed on Bennifer 2.0. Another source told us that the time around, Medina kept his mouth shut about the rekindled romance and marriage. His attitude was, I'm going to say nothing. There was no good for you, but also he wasn't negative. He knows her and he knew she was going to marry him no matter what, so what's the point? This is what a source revealed. Bennifer 2.0 did, however, fracture Lopez's relationship, as we mentioned on this before. That, remember, Hannaful and Leah Remini were good Judies. And then I think Lemony did not like Ben either because she probably saw some things. And, she met her through Mark Anthony. Same thing with Anthony Ramos, but Anthony Ramos is a loyal one. He was like, I'm not doing your This Is Me Now documentary movie, whatever. Because that's my friend. And he's loyal to his boy. He ain't doing it. Yeah, he might have met you through Mark, but he's like, I don't know you enough that I'm going to jeopardize my friendship with Mark for you, who's an opportunist. And he was smart to not be a part of it because we already saw what happened. That whole era was a flop. So a source previously revealed that Remini encouraged Lopez to think about the reason they broke up in the first place before she jumped back in a love boat with the Gone Girl star. Because he is selfish and not fully committed as a partner, Hannaford was so mad she cut off all ties. They claim Lopez did not invite Remini to the wedding. But I do believe that Ms. Lopez went to not Miss Lopez. That Leo went to Mark's wedding, with his new wife, who he has a new baby with. I'm like, how many damn kids do Mark have? I think he has like 7. I didn't look that up. So they said the two reconnected this year, but with Remini offering support amid Lopez and Affleck's alleged marital woes, according to the source. No one except Lopez's mother likes Ben Affleck. He's a triple A asshole. Excuse me, the second source said. Well, child, it goes to show Guadalupe got a horrible judgment of character. I don't think she like any of the other men that was in Hannaford's life, but she like Ben. Why? Because he's a white man. We know how some of you Latinas and Latinos get down when y'all want to be pick-me's for the clear folk. But come to show, it don't matter the race. An asshole's an asshole. And Hannaford sure know how to pick them. Because wasn't there tea that A-Rod allegedly was another a-hole? A-Rod was an a-hole? So she definitely know how to pick the men. And I'm starting to think at this point that and I've always said this, you attract based off of how you feel about yourself. So you feel like low or less than or a piece of meat, or you feel like if you're an asshole in real life, you're going to attract assholes to be in your relationships. If you got high standards, it's going to take you a long time to find you that man, but eventually he will find his way to you. But she's always seemed to pick men who have a reputation for not being the nicest. So it also says there might be some truth to her not being, as pleasant as well. But it's funny how, I don't know if I could be friends with Hannaford. Because number one, she basically chooses dick over her friends. So I can't come to you and tell you, that your man is a dog, or say anything about your relationship because you so in love, you love, that when a real friend is trying to warn you about stuff, this is what you get. Oh, well, if you can't support me and my decisions on who I want to be in a relationship with, then I guess we just need to part ways, or we can't be friends. But if that's the case, then you know what? I will never question you on your relationships or whoever you get in the relationship with. I just love you from afar. Okay, congratulations, and keep it moving. They also said the insider pointed to the couple's current situation. Sources recently told Page 6 that the town star has been holding off filing for divorce so as to not humiliate her further, but it's too little too late. She's furious. He has humiliated her. He was the one who initiated getting back together, which we've said numerous times on the show. He love bombed her. He sent her a book, for her birthday, I believe a book of love letters that he wrote her. I think it was a book, birthday or Christmas. One of them, she said. Well, either way, they're both special occasions. And that was the inspiration that she used for the album, which he didn't think she was going to do that. But she overexposed things. Then it was also things where they were saying their lavish spending. She was putting she likes to spend too much. He's frugal. So there was a whole bunch of things. I don't think we'll ever know what really transpired with the relationship unless somebody comes out and says something. But they went on to say this was definitely not on her bingo card. She would have scratched someone's eyes out if they told her they're splitting up less than 2 years in. So reps for Lopez, Affleck, and Medina did not comment, but I believe every word. This relationship was doomed from the beginning. While it does seem cute on paper that it was just, you're finally getting your happily ever after. You got together before, you parted ways, but now you found each other and all that other stuff. Now it's just like, it is what it is. Y'all broke up. And I just hope, girl, do not get back together with him in your 70s. Because that's another 20 years from now. When you 74 or 73, I don't need you trying to get back together with Ben. Just get this divorce out of the way, go y'all separate ways. And it's messed up because, she has a movie that's coming out with Jarrell Jerome that I saw clips of on social media that Ben Affleck is a producer on. And I guess he's going to have to show up to promote it. Or what's going to have to happen is She'll have to show up because she's part of the movie, but Ben can't be there. I think Matt Damon also is producing it. So maybe Matt Damon could show up. But Matt Damon gonna have to keep his distance because I ain't getting in the middle of y'all mess. That's between you and him. But if he's sitting out here being a whole vagina, fuck it. If you want to be a pussy and run away from his relationship, you should have thought of that before you got together with her. Because if this thing was bound to happen, you can't be running away from your obligations. You're going to have to be in a room with her. You're going to have to get cordial, and you're going to have to address the elephant. Or maybe they're not going to have to, because Hollywood is Hollywood. You know, they don't want to lose opportunities with these A-listers. So they're not going to bring up the tea. They're not going to address them. Like, okay, so what's going on? What's good? Like, are y'all getting a divorce or not? Because y'all dragging this shit out and it's annoying. So I saw this say, what do y'all think of this tea regarding Hennifer and Benifer? Let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Katy could add that Christian album to streaming services and it would bring more attention to her than the new album coming out. Oh, you said Katy needs to go back to one of the boys' pop rock sound might work for her. Oh, maybe it does. She needs, maybe it's just the fact that, it was cute or whatever when she was younger that she can get away with doing that silly, brainless dance pop that she was doing. Now it's just like it's like, girl, you're about to be, or I don't know if she's about to be 40 or she just turned 39, but you're on the later side. You're almost 40, so you got to mature and you got to grow up. You can't give people generic lyrics and your vapid generic lyrics. I was about to say, am I bugging? Because I just looked at my laptop and then I looked at another time. It says 6:40 on the computer. And then it said 7:40 on my laptop. And I'm looking at my watches. I'm like, wait a minute. Did the time like disappear or something? What happened? So anyway, I do agree that she needs to mature. And if she was interested in maturing, she could have went back to the old pop rock sound that she started out with in her early part of her career. That would show some sense of maturity. And I do feel like she would have an audience for it. Maybe it won't be the same audience that loved the old Katy Perry stuff, but it would have shown a sense of maturity. Okay, so it said, oh yeah, we read that one already. It said, baby, those kids of hers are gonna have who you telling? Because I know them kids are all messed up. It's like the problem is when you have the worst thing, and this is not just with her, it's just regular people too. I don't get people who have children from previous relationships and they be so quick to just jump into another relationship and they be introducing the man to the relationship. Then 2 years later, it don't work. And then it's like, it's that ongoing cycle. It's just a real tricky thing when it's like, yeah, you should be able to find love. I'm not saying that a single parent should be a eunuch, but there needs to be a long period of time before y'all start trying to blend families. Because she did that with A-Rod, and then they were engaged, and then that whole situation broke up. Then you jump right into Ben Affleck. So did they even get a chance to get over A-Rod and that whole situation before you jumped into the next thing? So maybe it's good for her. It's good that she can jump out of things and pretend like nothing is going on, but you don't have control over how your twins are going to react to the same thing. I don't think they're like that. Well, I don't know what their personalities are because we haven't even heard them talk. We just see them walking around. Except that one time I did see that video where I think Jennifer Lopez won something and the kids were congratulating her. And then Max, I saw, was getting overly excited. And then Emmy was basically trying to calm him down, which had me thinking a little something, but I don't want to make no argument about that he might have some sort of condition. But I don't want to say nothing because ain't nobody trying to get sued. So I don't want to start misdiagnosing people, but there were some signs there. Hopefully her kids don't. I hope not, because, I don't want to say that kids are going to be just as narcissistic as their mother. It all depends on how they was raised. I don't know any man that's not an introvert because it's hard to be sociable and it's draining for them. I don't know any guy that likes being well, when I was younger, I think I was a bit of an attention seeker. But I'm an introverted extrovert, which means it's like I'm very much introverted. I keep a lot of myself, like I'm very quiet in a lot of situations. But then when it's time to perform or whatever, like I definitely come out of my shell. If I'm comfortable around people, I can be very extroverted. But most of the time, I'm very much inside. Like everything's inside. Oh yeah, Donald Trump is definitely a sociopathic, narcissistic prick. Problem with millennials, a lot of us want to be kids to make up the trauma. But what needs to happen, we might have to be therapy for life because we were sheltered and didn't get to live as our peers. I think that happens with, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of us with a lot of that. It's not just millennials. I think it's with gay folks too. Is that a lot of us want to be kids to make up for a lot of the trauma and a lot of the issues that we didn't get to live being out and proud when we were kids. A lot of us now, I think younger kids now can be openly gay and it's okay depending on the situation. If you're comfortable in your situation, I feel like it's more exposure. So kids feel and parents have the tools now. When I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of representation on TV. We didn't have a lot of representation anywhere. And a lot of us had to stay in the closet and try to hide who we were until we were old enough to be able to go out on our own and live our life. And so that we didn't end up, because I remember hearing stories about, people who were in my age range growing up as a kid in the 80s and 90s, they're being thrown out of their homes for being out. Not I'm Dick. Or you said I'm sick of that rat devil Beyonce as a wannabe Ashanti. I'm confused by that. And it said Nickelodeon Doug premiered 33 years ago today. I remember Doug. I used to like that show. Why do I see Doug in my head? The minute I seen that damn video, your post, I see him in my head. Been giving me total top on paper, but at the end of not angling his bottom. She a bitch. You think Hannah pegs him? Hold on, because I'm getting a damn text. Thank God I'm not doing this during I'm not doing this in the middle of an actual segment. This is why I always put my damn phone on silent. Like you said, making mistakes, going to jail, growing up in a religious atmosphere like she did is forever impacting our adult life. She needs therapy or something to actually deal with the trauma of her parents. Rude to my Hannaford. Well, I know she got a lot of traumas and things. Oh yeah, she did go to jail. Went messing with Diddles, the diddler. That was only a couple of hours, but still that's jail. Like anytime, I think even for like a moment, that could be traumatizing. I know one time I went to jail for a weekend for fighting. So I know what it's like to be locked up and have to go before a damn judge. And being in some place where there's, a lot of pow-powing going on. And it said, if only Katy Perry was brave enough to finally embrace her ray of light era. Well, yeah. I feel like she probably would have did just one of the boys and added some electronic elements to that type of sound. That could have been her ray of light era. Hannah can go very long being single. Or yeah, she can. She's someone who needs a man. And that's the worst part. I feel like that plays into a lot of trauma because it's like, yeah, you lost out on friends. You almost lost your manager, putting a man before everybody else. Like, what are you doing? It's like she gets stupid when she gets in love or when she gets in a relationship. One of my friends said what she needed to do is just be like Madonna. Why don't you just go out there, get you a young man that could satisfy your needs, that could follow you around like a damn puppy. And when y'all break up, y'all move on. Like, if you really think, like, when you are married to your work, when your work ethic is more important or comes first, it's like you have your work, your job, your career, because they don't have jobs, they have careers. But you have your career and your children, the man is coming third. So, I don't think Jennifer Lopez will ever find a man that could put up with all of what she does. Same thing with Donna. I don't think there's a man out there that could put up with any of the stuff that she, especially a man her age. They ain't got time for that. They're gonna go for the younger girl, just like she's gonna go for the younger man. And I feel like that's what she needs. She needs her a Casper Smart that's not allegedly gonna hit up on trans women on social media, or be texting, sexting, I should say, allegedly trans women. And find you a man that, like I said, is gonna follow you around like a little puppy. No, there isn't. There's no modern day. I mean, I really feel like I'm at a place now that I'm struggling to, as well as like, it was so easy to like become aware of producers growing up. Like we had our Timbalands, our Pharrell, our William Orbit, our Milways, our Max Martin. We had so many people that we knew by name that created so much magic production wise. I can't really think of who's out here producing these days that are really standing out. The only one I can think of all the time, I mean, there's Dan, who, produced Chapel Roan's music and also produced Olivia Rodrigo. We have A.G. Cook because of Charlie XCX. So, and then I know Shy Girl, she makes her own music, but she also produces her stuff as well. So I don't know. It's hard for me to like keep track of who are the movers and shakers, who are the producers out here that are on that same level that are standout. And I don't even bring up no Jack Atnoff because I just saw Taylor Swift, so I was like, his name popped in my head when I saw that. Yeah, yes, not. Are you talking about? He said I was talking actually. I was talking about Katy Hudson research her background. This is stunted adulthood by the strict Pentecostal religious woman. Devil eggs was called poop eggs. Oh yeah, they're weird. Jehovah's Witness is weird. A lot of y'all in them cults. I like angel food cake. But anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about this whole Lauryn Hill situation. Because apparently Pras is siding with the fans. So, while Lauryn Hill is blaming clickbait headlines for the U.S. leg of her Fugees tour being canceled, that's not how Pras is seeing things. Now, Pras revealed to TMZ Hip Hop, he said, I saved her reputation for 20 years by not telling my side of the story, but oops, cat's out the bag. Now, fans on social media railed against Lauryn Hill's statement after the 18-city tour was canceled, considering they've seen this story before, and Pras says he shares the skepticism. Because, we talked about on the show the last time, the first thing when people were sitting up in here talking about, so why they canceled the Fugees tour, whatever the case is, and everybody automatically, they went to Lauryn being late. Lauryn don't like showing up on time. Lauryn's always late about stuff. And when I went to the comments, please hold, we're going to scroll on by, and this is what they said. So you can see it open. They said, Lauryn, how long did it take you to come up with delusional narrative, playing the victim yet again? Do better, sis, because we tired. Another person put, I've seen her live. Trust me, you're not missing anything. She's a horrible performer. Another person put, not miss shows up 3 hours late to her own not miss shows of 3 hours late to her own concert. It took me a second to understand what they were talking about. So they said she needs to stop letting her fans down, honestly. Another person put, they better off hosting a Zoom concert. Another person put, wait. I'm a little slow today. Is she saying low ticket sales are the reason the media and not her inability to respect people's time and money by showing up on time? And last but certainly not least, the person put, Lauryn, with all due respect, your penchant for showing up to shows late affected the ticket sales of the North American portion of the tour. Don't blame the media. Exactly, because I'm like, that's a bunch of malarkey. Baloney. That's a bunch of that's a crock of shit, and she knows it. And I don't like the idea of like, oh yeah, it's the media, it's all the other people. Oh no, they're the ones that saying it. But I'm like, these are literal fans that have gone in comments and on social media when she has shown up late to concerts and have expressed their grievances on TikTok and all these other places. It's not the media. The media could care less. The only time the media is talking about it is when they pick up on people complaining on social media. So yeah, when they seeing these videos going viral on TikTok and all these other streamers and Instagram and everywhere else, of course the media is going to pick up on it because the people are talking about it and it's a story. So the Miseducation singer has been called out for years for leaving fans waiting hours on end, tardiness that Pras admits delays his schedule too, all the same. Pras doesn't take the legacy lightly. The group's 1996 album, The Score, sold over 22 million records worldwide, making it one of the most notable hip-hop projects ever recorded to this day. And that's true, because it was like, that was a huge album back in that day. I remember they cleaned up all the awards, including numerous Grammys. And yes, because Lauryn Hill was in, Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. She started out doing soaps as well. And then, after The Score capitalized on, her album, The Miseducation, which was another huge hit for her, she started feeling herself. But I feel like The Score was like that one album they put out that did well, and then they broke up, and then she went solo and put out one album. So they said the Fugees are still scheduled to reunite overseas in Europe, highlighted by stops in Paris, London, and Stockholm. Pras still wants those shows to happen, but says it's ultimately up to the fans. Translation, buy the tickets and they will come. Now, hopefully Wyclef Jean has 911 on speed dial. They said we spoke to El Boogie back in May, and she seemed open to following up on her classic and only studio album after more than 25 years. Perhaps the new opening in her schedule gives her time to work on the next masterpiece. So, I don't know. I don't understand how it take 25 years to put out a new album. Like, she had nothing else to give with that record. So, I don't know. It just seems like, to me, I get why Pras would complain. And he's like, yeah, I've been a part of this group for eons. He had his little hit, Ghetto Superstar, with not Maya, but his career as a solo act never really took off. So I don't know I guess maybe all them crimes he was out there doing, that's why he allegedly about to go to jail. I was like, wait a minute. Is he able to fly? Because aren't you supposed to be going to prison? Federal prison? For the criminalities you allegedly got yourself involved in? So I am curious in regards to that. But I have to say, I just say all this to say, Lauryn, own up to the mess. You're the one that got caught up in having this reputation for being late, for not showing up to your, on time, having respect for people's time, because you are at a point in your career where you have to realize your audience skewers a certain age. And that would probably be, I'll even be nice to say 35 and up. Your album is 25 years old. So maybe you're like, yeah. Anybody, I'm sure there's a lot of younger kids out there that like the Miseducating Lauryn Hill has heard it enough time. Their parents played it around the house when they were growing up. So they'd probably be curious to see you perform live too. But for the most part, Lauryn Hill fans, I'm sure, skewers older. A lot of people, when you are of a certain age, they ain't trying to be out till 11, 12 o'clock at night. They tired, they restless, they got to go to work, they got things to do, they got to pay the babysitter. There's a specific time that they had the babysitter to be with the kids at home while her and the man out on date night, whatever the case is. So take into consideration that your older fan base don't have time to be sitting around waiting for your uppity behind, who everybody call her Miss Hill, like she the queen of damn Sheba or Wakanda, whatever you want to call it, to come out and worship at the altar of Miss Lauryn Hill. It's like, ma'am, you are a 2-album wonder, one with The Score and one with the Miseducation. Let's not act like that you out here doing Beyonce type legacy shit. And we're not going to take away from how successful them records are, but they weren't that big where your ego need to be acting the way you acting. And I'm surprised Wyclef ain't said nothing, but I'm glad Pras said something, and rightfully so. He should have a right to say something. If you're part of the group, and it's like, yeah, I have things I got to be doing too. Like, you can't be sitting up in here just like we on your time, like you're the only important person in this group. When you're in a group, you have to think about, you're only 1/3 of that group. So you have to think about everybody. You need to take into consideration what Wyclef got going on, and you need to take into consideration what Pras got going on. It ain't always about you, sis. Because all your kids is grown, I believe, at this point. Like, you ain't got no babies running around unless you got unless you got another more of that Molly sperm going up in you. So I say all that to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all buy what Miss Lauryn Hill is selling in regards of the reasons why they canceled this tour? I just feel like, you know what, when your reputation precedes you, People are not gonna. People, there's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I ain't no damn fool. I'm not buying another ticket for your foolishness. So she messed this up, and she need to put it upon herself. People don't know what they're gonna get when they get to a Lauryn Hill concert, or if they even gonna get her at all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, it said millennials create a stan culture, and Gen Z is slowly dismantling it. They don't care if the music is charting, where millennials did. I think that's probably the problem why, like, even when you see like people like Charlie XCX is trending so much, but I don't think Brat did well on the charts. It's just the phenomenon in social media and the algorithms and all the stuff. People are living for that. So, I'm even at a point where I just don't give a fuck about charts and numbers and things. I do be seeing people that be in the comments that when an artist who I guess is a rival with their fave doesn't do well, oh, they're a flop, oh, they're this, oh, they're that. But I'm like, if they're out here successful, they're able to still perform and do whatever, then are they really a flop? It's just that I guess maybe just the music ain't registering. But I guess we could say that about anybody though. So I don't know. It's just confusing in a lot of ways. So yeah, I just don't. Oh, excuse me, my back. I don't think the charts really matter. Like Felix says, don't really matter. Drake has supposedly had so many hits, but I never hear his music anywhere. That's so true because it's like, who's actually listening to Drake's music? I mean, although I do believe that they play his music if you go to like Target and all that other stuff. Because I think the other day I was in Target and they did have a Drake song playing. So they play you'll hear Drake at the Target or possibly Starbucks or whatever. They're playing his music is in some of the stores or whatever. But yeah, I just think it's all a bunch of BS. Clarice got a negative response over the national anthem, and it looks like he lost weight or something. Because girl, he did an R&B up-tempo hip-hop production and heavy on the bass. Did he not learn from Fergie? Speaking of which, oh my god, I forgot to mention this too. So when I went to, and I gotta upload that video. Y'all reminded me so many clips I gotta upload. I already uploaded the Lady Bunny one that I told you to my Instagram, but I need to also upload it to TikTok because I believe that's where my bigger audience is. But also Jan from speaking of national anthems, Jan from RuPaul's Drag Race came to Fat Slut and did the national anthem, tore it up, child. So I gotta post that video of her doing that. So they had 2 Drag Race girls there. Megami also performed. Forgot to mention that too. So now all of a sudden it's coming to me all the queens that was there to perform. Wait, you said that MTV Unplugged album she put out after was, oh yeah, I do agree with that. That was good. Well, her sit up there with no, bald headed playing the guitar, strumming her pain with her fingers. But anyway, so Felix, you're lucky. Drake was the top artist of the last decade. So how do you escape him? I don't know, because he was all over the radio, MTV, and pushed on me by Spotify. So I had no choice. Well, maybe now they don't, but yeah, back in the day, I do remember Drake was played everywhere. Or as we used to call him, that dude from Degrassi when he first came out. This was why I never fully want to go Janet, Lauryn, Madonna, Cindy, or anyone over the age of 50 concert. Respectfully, I do not want to be the only person under 20. Well, that's funny. But here's the thing. At a Madonna concert, she gets all ages up in there. Because when I went to the celebration tour, there was a lot of young people up in there. There was people that were in there was people of all ages. There were people there that were older in their 60s. I had those in front of me, sitting down the whole damn time. I was like, I ain't sitting, I'm standing. Although there were some parts where I was like, I'm sitting because I got tired of standing at one point. But during certain parts of the show, I had to stand my ass up. But Madonna, I believe, skewers all ages. I don't necessarily know about Lauryn. I don't know about, I think Janet and Madonna are similar with the type of demographics that they skewer towards when they perform. So I think it's people of all ages will show up there, and nobody's going to judge you if you're young going to a Madonna and Janet concert, especially if you watch a lot of YouTube videos and TikTok videos. There's a lot of people that do, that are discovering Madonna's music, that are doing listening, they're like first time reactions and all that other stuff, and really breaking down a lot of the music and listening to it and stuff. So those are really good. But yeah, as far as Lauryn Hill, and Cyndi Lauper, I forgot she's supposed to be coming to my job soon. I think next month. That should be interesting to see how that is. I'll definitely tell y'all if I'm working it. The type of if I'm a glance around the audience. I'm assess the audience and see what the demographic is for that. You said because I won't listen to the radio. Plus, I was busy doing my own music entering contests. Well, that's another thing too. I don't listen to the radio either, so I really don't know what's playing. A lot of times, like I stopped listening to, and I've told people this. I stopped listening to the radio after Wendy Williams when she quit radio and went straight into television. That's when I stopped listening to the radio and would just full on, whatever like on social media I would discover. That's what I was listening to. Using the iPod and all that other stuff. So I really stopped listening to the radio at that point. The only time I would listen to the radio is if I was in the car, and then you were listening to like iHeartRadio or something or another like that, or Sirius XM or whatever. So that's the only time I was doing that. So anything from Gaga, y'all have to remember that straight guys, people are the reason why artists like Drake, Morgan Wallen, and other mainstream artists are still so popular. And Eminem, yeah. So it's like they need to have music for them. So a lot of straight guys are the ones that listen to a lot of those artists. When you listen to a lot of female artists, a lot of people who are keeping them successful are women and homosexuals. So it's Onyx. I went to Madonna. Chris can tell you it was girls' night out, daughter and moms. It's going to be that way with Cyndi Lauper, multi-generational. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like they're multi-generational artists, so you're going to skewer people of all ages. Same thing with Janet. Janet is a multi-generational artist, so you're going to get everybody up in there. You're going to get the gays. You're going to get older women, younger women. You're going to get with those. You're pretty much a safe bet with that. Said Madonna has always put on great shows. Janet has been. Well, we've mentioned that many times on this show. And I live for Janet, but girl, I'm really hoping with this residency you got going on in Vegas that you're going to give us a little something different, especially because, if they give you a lot of quintadas, give her 4 extra dancers, please. We don't need her just with the same 4. Give her 4 more, a nice even 8, and have her in the middle. And she needs the production. She needs, fierce costumes. All of that. And now with a residency, she can get all of that instead of, because she's independent, she has to do everything independently. It's very different from Madonna from last decade. The perception changed. It did. Okay, now speaking of changing receptions, let's talk about Keke Palmer, who was the latest Nickelodeon star to open up about the whole Dan Schneider situation. So Keke Palmer, her mother Sharon, and several former Nickelodeon stars recently opened up about challenging work environment that happened on set of, that Quiet on Set documentary. And they also opened up about, the struggles of being a child star, because I feel like a lot of times people don't know what it's like to be a kid growing up in this entertainment industry that is run by a bunch of adults who their behavior definitely skewers on being children, but they just grown. It's like big adult babies. So on the latest episode of Keke's podcast, Baby, This is Keke Palmer, on which they were joined by former child actors Giovanni Samuels and Brian Hearn, the actress and her mother Sharon spoke out about the allegations surrounding Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon detailed in the docuseries Quiet on Set. Saying, I had a lot of I had a lot of child celebrity parents. Some of my friends that I've accumulated over the years. They hit me up, said Sharon, as to how she found out about the documentary. Saying we were all there around that time, said Keke, who starred in the Nickelodeon show True Jackson VP from 2008 to 2011. I honestly do remember you having a lot to say about the Dan Schneider sets. I remember you feeling a way about Nickelodeon and how they I do want to hear what you have to say. Sharon said that there was a strange atmosphere to the sets of Schneider's shows. Saying, I thought the whole atmosphere of the Dan Schneider set was very weird. It was very cultish, she said. Parents were very secretive, and I honestly thought they all took themselves way too seriously. It was always so frantic about what was being canceled. The Investigation Discovery docuseries specifically focuses on allegations that Drake Bell, the star of Drake and Josh, was SA'd by All That and Amanda Show dialogue coach Brian Peck. Excuse me. When I saw the Drake story, it just broke my heart, Sharon continued, because I could see how his parents got trapped. I could see the grooming that went on. Sharon and her daughter agreed that not every child's experience on Nickelodeon shows and other children's shows was negative, saying, I do people. Oh, wait. It says, I do people assume? What does that mean? It says, I do people assume that every child acting experience now is what they've heard on Quiet on Set. I think I get what she means, but there was a typo in the whole situation. That and I do agree with that. I don't think that every person's experience was the experience of what happened on Quiet on Set. I don't agree with that. And I hate the fact that people, when that whole witch hunt happened, after the Quiet on Set situation happened, you had people in social media comments going, and tagging tagging people that was on there. Well, y'all need to speak out. You need to speak out. You need to speak out. You need to speak out. It's like it was very much Oprah giving away a car. When it came to that, you get a car and you get a car and no. I feel like people who want to speak on it should come out and speak on it when they're ready. It's like when someone's coming out. They come out when they're ready. Don't force people to do things that they're not comfortable doing. And to me, it felt like that's what a lot of people were going in on. Is like, oh, well, y'all need to speak out, and you need to do this, you need to do that. When people are ready, they'll speak out. And I'm glad that the people that came out when they did. And Ariana Grande gave her a little comment and it was whatever. But I do like the fact that Keke also spoke out. I totally forgot that she was a part of the Nickelodeon family with True Jackson VP. So they were saying that, yeah, there were some moments where they felt like it was very secretive and it was very cultish and all that other stuff. And if you guys want to watch that interview, you could definitely check it out. I posted it on my website, chrisavalon.com, with the Keke Palmer story, and you could watch the whole YouTube video, or you could just look at it on YouTube after this show and check it out and see what Keke had to say. But yeah, it was like, this is why I always feel like it's weird when y'all have when you have kids at such a young age getting into this industry, because this industry could be real disgusting, real messy. And then, yeah, they do groom these poor kids. They're so naive. And we saw what that guy did, where it was just like he turned the father against Drake and, grooming manipulation, saying stuff in his ear, and then got the father out of the way because the father was going above and beyond to protect his son. He just knew there was something going on. And then the worst part was there was people on the set that was like, oh, you're just saying that because he's gay, and then trying to play the whole homophobic angle. And because he probably wasn't homophobic, and I don't think Drake's father was, now he's like questioning himself, because when you use those words like, oh, you're gay, I mean, you're a homophobe, or you're racist, and you do those things, it forces people to question themselves about, oh my God, I don't want to come across that way. That's not how I intended. So maybe my instinct about this person is wrong, but it's a grooming tactic. If they're manipulating you because they want to get something out of you. And what he was trying to get to was your son's booty hole. So after the father got pulled out of it and then his mother came in the picture, it was easy for him to get and take advantage of Drake, unfortunately. So, like I said, I'm sure this thing with Dan Schneider isn't going anywhere, that we'll get more people coming out and talking about it, and we'll probably continue to discuss it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of Keke breaking her silence on her experience at, on set of Nickelodeon? And this whole breakdown, the whole Quiet on Set drama. So let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Also, before we get to the rest of the show, we have 3 more topics that we're getting to, and then we're done. But before I am done with today's show, can you please do it solid? Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and smash that notification button to help me out with the algorithm and things of that nature. And so that way, for those of you who are new, know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. So speaking of comments, we have some. So let's scroll on up and see what the peoples are saying. I said, I know that no one is going to judge me because I'm young, but it's just me feeling out of place in a group of millennials. But don't worry, we're not shady. Well, I know I'm not. I'm not shady. I love the youngins. Keeps me young. Let me start trying to sound like my ass is old. But it's just like, look, there be times when I be at work and I be feeling out of place working them shows with all them kids. But there's a respect thing there. I be feeling like I'm old enough to been around, but young enough to still do it. So yeah, I do get it. Like, you know, when you're young, you feel out of place. Because there's been times when I was your age and I felt out of place being in settings where there's a lot of older people. But I guess like back then, I just didn't care. Or maybe it was because social media wasn't what it was then as it is now. So we didn't have access to stuff like your generation has now. So maybe that probably also factors into the anxiety part of it, is that we didn't have social media. Well, did we have social media in the 2000s? We did, but not. I don't think it was as drastic as it is now. Like we did have social media because the internet was created like in like the 90s. So, I do feel like we didn't have as much access. So it's very different from Madonna from last decade. The reception changed. It said, "Take your mom to Cindy. That's my mom Christmas present. She's getting me merch for Christmas." It's a And then it said, "Let's be honest, Janet and Cindy are not popular with people my age. Everyone my age knows." Wait, what album is that? Is that the debut? Girls Just Want to Have Fun. It took me a minute to be like, what the hell? But it's going to be Crickets when she plays something from True Colors. I mean, it depends. Well, you know, I guess for the most part, it's going to be, or like what was said in the thing, is that the people that's going to show up to this situation would be the ones that are fans of like the multi-generational fans. It's like, yeah, some people only know True Colors, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, She Bop. I hope she does what's that song? Good Love from the Goody soundtrack. Whatever the name of that damn song is, I forget the name. But anyway, maybe that was the name. So maybe she'll do all the other songs, but like I said, it's multi-generational. So yeah, while a lot of younger people aren't really familiar with her, if they grew up because their mother was playing a lot of Cyndi Lauper around the house, you know, if Janet don't want to do dance, take inspiration from Kylie Minogue, not Rihanna. I love her, but no. Or she could just do, just and just wiggle the legs, but don't do the too much of the choreography. She could do it, the same old. She'll be Janet about to give us armography when she hit 60. She ain't doing all that other stuff. She could whip the hair back and forth. She could move the arms, but the legs and the knees, it's like, she don't need to do all that. She could do her little poses. You know how she, slouch a little bit, throw that hip up or push it out, hit her little sassy marks. Janet don't really need to be out here doing all crazy choreography anymore. She really doesn't. Like, we know she's a dancer and all stuff, but when you get to a certain point, when you older, you don't want to be doing too damn much, because you don't want to end up like Prince and all of that, where you want prescription medication for years of wear and tear on your body. Well, we know Rihanna can't dance. Why doesn't care? Some people say she ain't a great singer either, but she sold the hell out of them songs she sang. That's a good damn question. Why didn't she do the documentary? Maybe she wasn't ready to speak. Or maybe she didn't know what it would entail. I don't know. That would be a good question. I may need to watch that full documentary and see if she even brought that up in the conversation, because that is a good question. It was like, if you were part of the documentary, why didn't you speak on it? Why use your platform as a podcaster to speak on it? Maybe it's a ratings draw? I feel he reached it. Or it says smash that like Mary. Okay. Oh yeah, we did have MySpace in 2000. I remember MySpace when it was like you had a top 9 of the people you were putting your little top list, and that's where I think that's where I got most of my notoriety from, because it was like, and I met a lot of artists and stuff on there. That's how a lot of artists actually got discovered, through MySpace, and then it moved on to YouTube, and then it moved on to, I don't even know if Instagram was a part of that conversation. Then it moved on to TikTok. And so we had MySpace, but it wasn't mobile or with us everywhere. I never thought my music player would be my cell phone and mini computer when it was Razor and the iPod on the other hand. I do remember Razor. Funny enough, we used to give out Razors when we were at when I worked at VH1. That was part of the gift packet that when we did the VH1 Hip Hop Honors. And I had to call up every celebrity to find out, to get them their gift bags and all that other stuff. Those were the days. And that was my first day when I was working there. I had to work the event for Hip Hop Honors. But anyway, let's move on to this mess, child, because Xena and Hercules are fighting on social media. Now, Lucy Lawless is well, damn, I spelled her name wrong. I put Lawless's. I'll fix that later. Lucy Lawless is slamming her former co-star Kevin Sorbo following a string of tweets about Kamala Harris and the ongoing UK riots. So Sorbo went viral on Thursday night after he penned a post on Twitter that questioned the Democratic presidential nominee's race, saying, if Kamala really is black, have her say the N-word. Let the people decide for themselves. Now, you know, those are fighting words because it's like, who are you as a clear person to give people the autonomy to be like, well, I need you to prove how black you are. Say nigga. Go ahead. I dare you. Motherfucker, you don't give nobody the ability to be like what they should and shouldn't say. But anyway, his comment, which Sorbo has since pinned to his profile, comes as former president, you know, the orange turd, falsely claimed that Harris, who was the daughter of an Indian mother and Jamaican father, happened to turn black and now wants to be known as black at a National Association of Black Journalists conference in Chicago last month. Now, Sorbo's post was met with swift condemnation online from multiple Twitter users, including Lawless, who chose to address the situation with an anecdote from the past, saying, in his defense, I personally witnessed a time when Kevin stuck up for a black man against white people. And she went and added Ron Filipakowski and John Fugelsang. She said, the New Zealand summer, February 1995, when my character, #Xena, was introduced into my husband's show, Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, we actors were sitting around and I brought up a news item. I said, guys, did you guys hear about the woman and her friend who were brutally murdered in LA? I think maybe the footballer did it. And Peanut growled, hey, I knew Nicole, and let me tell you, she was no picnic. Boom. Basically referring to O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown, who allegedly was unalived at the hands of her husband. So we don't necessarily know if that was what really happened, but that was a speculation. She went on to say, we were all gobsmacked. I said, she didn't deserve to be stabbed to death. He replied, I'm just saying, she was a piece of work. It stuck in my mind because those Americanisms were unusual to us, but we knew what he meant. # don't get me started. Now, this isn't the first time, and I should point this out. Now, this is not the first time. Oh, wait, why the picture is not scrolling over? Okay. I said, oh, we got to show that old throwback. Now, this isn't the first time Lawless has called out Sorbo for his inflammatory political remarks online. She previously slammed him for, quote, sharing a conspiracy theory that stated it was leftist agitators who broke into the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, not Trump supporters. Now, after Sorbo captured his post, they don't look like patriots to me. Lawless responded, no, Peanut, they are not patriots. Why should we call him Peanut? That is too funny. He said, no, Peanut, they are not patriots. They are your flying monkeys, your homegrown terrorists, QAnon actors. They are the douchebags that go out and just do evil bidding of people like you who are to wind them up like toys and let them do their worst. # keep your filthy hands clean and # enabler. Now, in addition to Hercules, Legendary Journeys, and Xena Warrior Princess, Sorbo and Lawless also lent their voices to the 1998 animated film Hercules and Xena, the animated movie, The Battle for Mount Olympus. Now, I do wonder, why is Kevin Sorbo out here going so hard at windmilling for these damn extremists and being all Trump supporter, QAnon? Saw a video earlier where you had Roseanne lunatic ass going on social media talking about she at Mar-a-Lago and telling people to drop out of college because it's not going to get you nowhere. I'm like, if this old wide back bitch don't go sit her crazy off her man's ass somewhere and stop spewing all this crazy information, but I guarantee you, if Trump University was still around, she probably told her ass to apply. So I don't understand. Child to swallow ice. Excuse me. So I really don't understand, like, the people out here being messy and saying these crazy radical stuff, because I realize what it is now is a lot of y'all get attention for being out here saying all this craziness. And that's probably why he's out here saying what he's saying and doing this other stuff. Because quiet as Kevin, I can't name the last time I seen Kevin Sorbo in anything. Now, when it comes to Lucy Lawless, I have seen her appearing in a lot of TV shows, a lot of movies. Like I remember she did the Evil Dead series, because you know her husband, I believe, produces the show. Rob Tapert. So produced the show at the time. So yeah, Lucy is still out here working. Lucy's still getting gigs in Hollywood. And Kevin out here, you know, with his hand out, trying to get, you know, support from the Trump people and making little scraps he can. So I don't know what happened to him. But I remember back in the day, I used to love Hercules Legendary Journeys when he used to come on the WB, well, Channel 11 in New York at night. It was syndicated, and then Xena Warrior Princess came on afterwards. But I have to say this, I was more or less a Xena fan of Hercules. At one point, I was living for Hercules and Aeolus and all of them going on their little adventures. But then when Xena and Gabrielle became part of the picture, it was over for me. I felt like, I can relate to this woman more. It was probably because I was a homosexual. That's why I was living for Xena more. Because, you know, we live for a woman in like scantily clad warrior gear, kicking ass and taking names. So, Xena always gave my life, and then when she would do her little chant and she was beating people up and stuff. So Xena gave me my life when I was growing up as a kid in the 90s. So that's why I think like she's more of a cultural icon than he was. And yeah, even though her show was a spinoff, I do feel like Xena was the bigger show. And it was unfortunate when the show went off when it went off, but it was like, I guess everything that has a beginning has an end, and everything ain't meant to last forever. But you know, you can still watch Xena, I believe, on Prime Video if you want to keep up with the show and watch the show and all that other good stuff. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? I'm just glad that somebody came and clapped back at, you know, these radicalists and starting to spill tea about, you know, as Lucy was sharing her experience of working with Kevin at the time when they was out in New Zealand and they were both doing their shows simultaneously, or those times when she would come and guest star on his show and they would do the crossover episodes with her going on his show and he would come on her show and that whole situation. So I'm glad she's speaking out. It's like, you know what? You have no power here. You know, same thing with, you know, the cast of Harry Potter be going in on J.K. Rowling, that long-ass jaw she got. So let me know what y'all guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said good enough for me. Yeah. Talk about the song from the Goonies. Speaking of which, I think the Goonies is on Tubi. I saw it when I was scrolling through there the other day. I tell you this, Tubi having some lit ass movies. I just hate all them damn commercials. So the fact that being mixed, light skin is so confusing to conservative people, dementia is going to kick them in the ass. Or when they would make certain comments about like mixing races and also, and I'm like, first of all, did you forget like how you had slave owners who would go around and SA the slaves? How you think they got all them mixed race children? So when you have people out here making these little comments, it's like, do we need to dig up history, or do y'all really think that the American people are dumb because y'all so busy out here banning books that you thinking that erases history, and then y'all just get to say the foolishness that y'all say, and those of us who actually read and are educated are going to remind you of the past that y'all so wholeheartedly are trying to get rid of by removing books from libraries and things of that nature. Agreed. I did love her on Ash vs. the Evil Dead. I was so mad when they canceled that show. But anyway, let's move on to this story with Joaquin Phoenix. So I don't know if y'all heard, but Joaquin Phoenix is supposed to star in a homosexual movie. Don't even know the name of it because I don't think we even got a name. But Todd Haynes was supposed to direct it. And Joaquin came to him with the idea. It was like in fragments. He helped develop the script or whatever. So I guess based on his ideas, a script writer came out. I don't know if it was Todd Haynes and a co-writer or Todd Haynes had any writing. What is it? Any hand in the writing. So they were supposed to, sets were built and everything. They're supposed to start shooting this week. But he decided to drop out due to cold feet. Which is surprising because I'm like, don't usually when straight people play homosexuals on the screen, y'all automatically get awards and things handed to y'all because it was so brave of y'all to, you know, play a whole faggot on camera. Anyway, let's pull this picture up. with Joaquin and fine ass Danny Ramirez. He is a cutie. But anyway, so Christine Vachon, I think is how you say her last name, who produced the gay romance movie that Joaquin shockingly quit 5 days before filming was scheduled to begin, is reportedly backing her decision to cast the straight actor for a lead role. So Killer Films is Christine Vachon, I'll just say it's Vachon, took to Facebook on Friday to confirm the Oscar winner had abruptly exited the Todd Haynes directed project just 5 days before filming was due to begin in Mexico. A version of this did happen. It has been a nightmare. This is what Vachon did. Okay, so first of all, what is this lady's name? Because they 1 minute it's Vachon, then they spell it Vanchon. Daily Mail, get y'all shit together, please, and get y'all proofreaders on the line. So I'm just going to stick with Vachon, whatever, or just call her Christine. So a version of this did happen. It's been a nightmare. This is what Christine wrote in a since-deleted post per People. Now, Christine was collaborated with Haynes since his 1991 debut film, Poison, also defended Killer Films' decision to cast the heterosexual Phoenix in a gay role, emphasizing that the entire project was allegedly spearheaded by Phoenix himself. Because I was one of the main ones that was like, you know what? If y'all gonna hire some straight person being a gay part or whatever, I was like, why don't y'all just recast it with a gay actor? Why don't y'all get Russell Tovey in there? Or, oh no, he's too busy. I was gonna say Pedro Pascal, but why don't you get Russell Tovey up in there? Why don't you get Matt Bomer or somebody? But according to the story, they said that they can't cast nobody. It's uncastable. I guess it was written so much for Joaquin that I guess maybe he has complete and utter control over the script that nobody else can replace him in the part. I'm like, huh? As an actor, don't you always, if you get rid of one person, you have to swap them in? But I guess maybe they can't, because if Joaquin's name and his reputation and his pull in Hollywood was able to pull these producers in to work on this project, they probably feel like, well, yeah, we didn't come on board for another actor. We came on board because of Joaquin Phoenix, that we could be guaranteed with him being a part of it because of the success of, you know, Joker and all this other stuff being $1 billion movie. And hopefully, I'm sure they're hoping Joker 2 becomes a huge hit. That because of his reputation in Hollywood for making the type of movies that he makes, that will be guaranteed a hit because name recognition. But Napoleon, he was a part of that, and that was a flop. So there's no guarantee that his reputation and name can get butts and seats. So she went on to say, and please, if you are tempted to finger wag or admonish us that that's what you get for casting a straight actor, don't, she continued. This was his project that he brought to us, and Killer's record on working with LGBTQ actors /crew/directors speaks for itself. And for those of you who know what you are making a terrible decision even worse. The Joker star, who's 49, and Top Gun Maverick actor Danny Ramirez, who's 31, he's also in the new Captain America movie, because he was in Captain America, I think the series that they had with fake Captain America. Danny Ramirez was in that. They said they were set to play on-screen lovers in the 1930s in Haynes' untitled film, which was to include explicit sexual content, but losses on the film can now exceed 7 figures after Phoenix's abrupt departure. Phoenix developed a screenplay for the detective love story with Haynes and John Raymond, with the source saying the actor had trepidation over the project amid rumors he was uncomfortable with the film's graphic sex scenes. The film was set to be rated NC-17 and feature a relationship that would challenge audiences. Entire sets had reportedly been built in Guadalajara before Phoenix exited the film. The crew allegedly speculate that Phoenix's exit had to do with the steamy scenes, per Variety, although other sources counteract that as Phoenix brought the project to Haynes initially. Haynes told Variety in September of 2023 that Phoenix began creating the film with fragments of ideas, adding, basically it was just this wonderful organic way to create the script, and Joaquin was pushing it further into more dangerous territory sexually. The film, produced by Killer Films and backed by MK2 Film, hints on Phoenix casting an already had already to international distributors. So that's probably also why they said that his role cannot be recast, because when they went to all these other people, and that seems to be the ongoing thing in Hollywood, a lot of times you can get people to come on and back your movie based off of name recognition. This is what they still go by in the industry. So because Joaquin is well known in Hollywood and has had a lot of successful movies, they felt like, oh, with him being a part of this, he could back it. There's no guarantee that if you bring somebody new in, that these backers are going to want to continue with this film. So now they're at a loss. They lost out on money because of him. I do wonder if he can be sued for not being a part of the situation. Like, oh, that's the producer right here, the one that was speaking out, Miss Christine. That's her in the black. That's giving me Kelly Catrone. Remember Kelly Catrone? That's what she giving me with them teeth. But I was like, we're gonna keep it on Danny. Let me stop being a hoe. But it was like, so he's gonna be in the Folie à Deux movie. I do wonder if they're gonna actually bring this up as a question. Like, sir, why did you drop out of that movie? We want to know the tea. And it's so annoying when this would have been a good opportunity for us to get this queer film, to see what tea they were going to be, what this movie is going to be about. And like, it sounded remotely interesting, and I was low key, because I haven't really talked about this film on this channel, that I was really interested in seeing what this movie was going to be about and how far they were going to push the envelope. Were y'all going to be showing Peen? Who was going to be the top and who was going to be the bottom? Was it Danny was going to be the bottom and Joaquin was going to be the top, or were y'all going to be flipping? Like, it would have been interesting to see how that whole situation would have played out. But and what this story was about, because I would love to see a detective story where you have the character being openly gay. This is what I've been saying for the longest in Hollywood, that we want to see characters who play in prominent different parts of situations but happen to be gay, that we're not all makeup artists, hairdressers, all the stereotypes. So it would have been nice to see what they were going to come up with in regards to this film, or somebody could possibly leak the script and then I could read it. So, and let's not forget, you know what, maybe the reason why people were having trepidations for this whole situation and with the whole Joaquin thing and why they're painting the story, because remember, it wasn't that long ago that we talked about Mr. Wahlberg from Boston, Mark Wahlberg, where he revealed that his priest advised him not to star in Brokeback Mountain that's why he decided not to do it, because he was creeped out by the same-sex storyline. But you had no problem being in Boogie Nights, where you had to wear a whole prosthetic penis and you show it at the end. So you had no problem doing drugs and assimilating you was going to get your dick sucked or whatever the case was by another dude, or that scene with Philip Seymour Hoffman, or at the time when you were so cracked out as the character you was playing that you was going to go gay and then you got beat up. Now, remember that scene from Boogie Nights? But then again, that plays into the whole, oh, well, you're gay, you deserve to get beat up, because there was a lot of those tropes that were in movies too. So yeah, so we had that whole situation before. So I could definitely understand why people were hesitant and why they immediately went to that whole thing about, y'all be so quick to give straight actors our parts, and this is the shit y'all pull. So, I think that's basically it in regards to this story. Like, I don't have nothing else to talk about. Look, Brokeback Mountain, I can't quit you. Or whatever the line is. I think he did say that. Now you can't quit him or whatever. But child, this was a good damn movie. I haven't brought myself to watch it in years, but it was just like, now that I look at this picture, it's giving me a little nostalgia. And so, yeah, we talked about that whole thing with Mark Wahlberg and all the other stuff back in the day. But you know what? They ended up getting 8 Oscar nominations, including supporting actor, best actor Oscar nods for Gyllenhaal and Ledger. So it took home the award for Best Director, Best Original Score, and Best Adapted Screenplay. So those are the 3 that they wound up getting for Brokeback Mountain, and that was a good one. But I don't know. My thing is, at the end of the day, I don't care what this producer says. I just don't get how an actor could put in so much work to create a cinematic concept, that you have the sets build, you put in all this work, all this money on the line, and then all of a sudden you decide 5 days before filming that you don't want to do it. I would send Joaquin that damn bill. And you know what? I'm sure he made enough money from doing, the Joker movies that he could pay it off. Because if you in the 7 figures, of money. That's like what, $7 million? Close to $10 million that probably they're at a loss for. Like, that's crazy that everybody was right. And I'm sure the actors who were supposed to be a part of this was disappointed too. They were ready to go. And here you go pulling this shit. So it's like, yeah, you can pull it, it's cute or whatever, but you got to think about all the other people that you've affected. And now he's got this reputation. Like, y'all need to put in writing when y'all sign on to do something, unless the studios pull the plug, you are committed 159,000% to be a part of this damn movie, because we're not taking a loss because you get some damn cold feet. Well, you better enjoy them cold damn feet when you never get another job in Hollywood again, if you're going to keep pulling this mess up. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so it says, I drove all night. I want to love that song. Oh, hey, Mims, how you doing? It said, I never missed the X-Men 10 a.m., Hercules at 5, and Xena at 6. Oh, yeah, I did love, child, first of all, I did love Xena Warrior Princess, but funny enough, I guess in New York, it aired later at night on a Saturday. And it said, this is such a damn shame. Would love to see this happen. May December was my fave movie from last year. Todd Haynes is so talented. I don't think I've ever seen that. There's a need to see these two actors get it on. Did you? You actually wanted to see what the hell's his name? Did you actually want to see Joaquin having sex with another man? I did like River though, his brother. May he rest in peace. River Phoenix was the actor. Xena was my show. My favorite villain was oh yeah, I did love Callisto. Their fights was epic on that damn show. That was like must see TV whenever them two came on. And it said, this left a bad taste in my mouth. He dropped out of the very last minute because he let his inner saboteur get to him. A woman or POC would never get away with this. Exactly. And it said, this was Joaquin's idea. Which kind of makes you wonder. They say a heterosexual man that came to y'all with a storyline about gay men and was pushing the envelope in regards to the sex. You sure you straight, sir? Because I don't know any heterosexuals that would come up with that concept of wanting to be a part of doing that. Like, I don't know, but you know what? I had this idea. I want to fuck on camera and do a whole sex scene. But I like pussy in real life. Like, I don't know any actors that would come up with that idea. So y'all got me side-eyeing this. And said, thank you, thank the priest. He told him that no one could have done it better than Heath and Jake. Yeah, thank God the priest did tell him. Because it's like, no shade, but I never thought Mark Wahlberg was that good of an actor. I mean, I like Fear in a couple of movies he played, but he was never like chill. First, it's like, yeah, you will know who's a good actor at his time. I was like, Tom Cruise. And, some people like to clown Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise definitely has proved that he's a good actor, even though I don't like the whole Scientology thing. I think them people are crazy. Living out in L.A., you definitely feel the whole Scientology thing more so than anywhere else. But, yeah, Scientology is the devil. So, outside of that, I like Tom Cruise's films, and he has proven himself to be a good actor. I'm still wondering to this day why the hell Stanley Kubrick had them shooting so many takes of a scene for that movie he was in, Eyes Wide Shut. Because I remember seeing a video on YouTube about that whole Eyes Wide Shut movie and how people was pissed off working with him, not with Tom, but with the director, with Stanley Kubrick, because he has a reputation. He'll want to do 100 takes on one of somebody walking into a room. I'm like, are you dumb? Like, what are you doing? Who spends 100 takes on somebody walking from one frame to the next? Just wasting money. But his movies are good, though. It creates a mood and an atmosphere. I hope he didn't drop out because of homophobia. Well, that'd be stupid. Because I'm like, if you came up with the idea, who gives a damn what other people saying? At the end of the day, them people can hate on you and be homophobic or whatever the case is. You still can make your movies. And you'll still make your millions of dollars while they at home being mad, hating on other demographics. For what? Living a best life? Isn't this the one that lost to Crash for Best Picture? Oh, Brokeback Mountain? Probably. I think it did lose for Best Picture for that. I think so. I may have to look that up. Thank God Daniel Craig did. I cannot wait for that damn movie. I'm so glad you brought that up. Now, that's a movie I'm looking forward to. And this will be the second time that that I know of that Daniel Craig has played a gay character. His character in the Knives Out movies is gay. So this will be the second time he's played it. But at least in this one, we're going to see him hunching. And this would have been a good matchup to have this untitled Todd Haynes gay movie go up against Luca Guadagnino's queer. And to me, I'm living for Luca Guadagnino and all the movies he's putting out. Sidebar, shout out to, because now it's got me thinking of challenges. Shout out to Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, because they're about to do the music for the new Tron Ares movie, and I'm actually looking forward to that. So that I'm really excited for, because I was like, who would be a great musical follow-up? And I couldn't think of nobody after Daft Punk did Tron Legacy. When they said Trent Reznor, I was like, you know what? Perfect. Because he's out here just doing all the music for movies and stuff anyway. He's been like one of the go-to scorers of films. And definitely with the industrial type of sound, it definitely will set the mood for, what they're doing with this movie. I just hope it's good, though. Even though a lot of people don't particularly care for Tron, the last one, Legacy, I liked it. I like the overall aesthetic. I love the visuals. I love the soundtrack. There was just a lot of stuff that was in that movie that I just appreciate. Yeah, it wasn't the strongest script, but I hope they put more action in it. But I did relatively enjoy Tron. Damn, you're making me want to watch that. And so his brother River will be fully committed. Who are you telling? We saw it in My Own Private Idaho. But that damn heroin child took him out just from a standpoint of labor. Pulling out last minute is fucked up to do to the crew. Who is going to pay them? Exactly, because that was one of the comments that they said, that there's people that they need their money. You spent months building sets in Mexico. All the people that was scheduled to work on this film, now they're out of a job. But you get to go back to your cushy home unbothered. River would have done it in a heartbeat. Yes, he would have. And so I love My Own Private Idaho. I found it on the Criterion Collection a couple of years ago. I think I saw that because my parents had that movie and I had heard about it. So I put the tape in and I watched it while they was at work one day. Because it was like, when back in the day, what we used to do with VHS tapes, they would always go to the video store, but I guess around the time Blockbuster was around, because it was the 90s. So they went and they would buy movies and we tape it to the blank tape. And that's how I saw it. I read that with the success of Deadpool and Blake's film, it's the cinematic summer of the Reynolds. Oh, yeah, I saw that article too. What movie did she come out with? Is that the one where they said that somebody made her feel uncomfortable on set? Yes, it is very telling. Let's move on. He's no. Oh, that's what I should have said. He's no Donnie. First of all, Donnie Wahlberg is a better actor. I still get chills watching his scene in The Sixth Sense. So he definitely is somebody who really has proven to be the all-around talent, not only in acting but in music. Like New Kids on the Block is still going strong. They still selling out arenas or wherever they go, and don't even put out. I think they did put out a new album, but they still have their success. And Donnie's been successful with his acting. I know Blue Bloods just finally finished, but I think the rest of the season is coming out this fall. But he's still out here doing his thing. So Harvey Keitel left Eyes Wide Shut because, oh yeah, that was where I remember reading that he was like, he wasn't working for Kubrick because he said he's an asshole for all of that shit. It was like, I'm not sitting up there doing 100 damn takes of me walking from one room to the next. And they said, yeah, because of that, I think Kubrick wanted to create a weird dream-like deja vu feeling for the actors. I mean, I like his movies too. I love The Shining. I love Full Metal Jacket. I love Eyes Wide Shut. I love a lot of Stanley Kubrick's movies. And 2001: A Space Odyssey. He's done a lot of great movies, but it's just ridiculous with that all that bullshit that he be doing in his films. Atticus a Trip really gave us 2000's Electric Puss with the Challenger soundtrack. Not Electric Puss. I mean, Electro Puss. I put it on the other day and my mom was living. I was gagging. I was like, I was not expecting this to be the music that was produced for this film. So What are you talking about? Trump? Well, of course not. Like, it's not going to be. First of all, I think what it is I don't think it's going to be lyrics. It's just like the score. It's like the music, similar to what Daft Punk gave us with the last Tron movie. They did a lot of. It was just a lot of music, a lot of moments and stuff where it was just like, you know, the music elevates the film. So that's basically what they're going to give us with that. But it says Nine Inch Nails is doing a it's doing a soundtrack for the new Tron movie. Yeah, I just mentioned that. I don't know if you wrote that at the same time I was talking about it, but yes. It said deeper research. Justin had a mental breakdown over his character. Justin who? Wait, am I missing something? Who's Justin? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, let's wrap up this show with the final topic. And let's talk about Bobby Berk apparently, allegedly, throwing shade. I was like, why do I have Twitter open? Hold on. Okay, now let's get back to the show. I got sidetracked. Okay, so let's talk about Bobby Berk throwing shade on social media, allegedly at the Queer Eye co-host. So the former Queer Eye star and interior design expert made headlines last November when he announced he was leaving the popular Netflix show after 8 seasons. Now, while Berk initially didn't go into details as to why he was leaving, it quickly became clear that there was some drama going on behind the scenes within the Queer Eye team. Now, Berk has stirred up that drama again in a new Threads post. So Berk was replying to a Threads post from the other Instagram, well, it says from the official Instagram page that said, "Protect your peace and mute them." When he stirred the pot, writing, "Oh, I did, honey, all but one," implying that he has all of the Queer Eye crew, say that 10 times fast, muted, everybody on mute, except one of them. He did not specify which one. And I hate when people do that. I need y'all to get in y'all Sutton track bag. Name them. Name them. Name them, bitch. I want to know who. I want to know the team. What we talking about? Or what you talking about, Willis? Like, I want to know who you're talking about. But anyway, let me pull up that picture of Mr. Bobby Berk. So when Berk announced his departure from the show, he thanked all the show's fans and everyone who participated in it. "It's with heavy heart that I announced that season 8 will be my final season on Queer Eye. It's not been an easy decision to be at peace with, but a necessary one. Although my journey with Queer Eye is over, my journey with you is not. You will be seeing more of me very soon," he closed out. "I love you all so much, and I'll meet you all in NOLA for one final season." Well, I don't know. I guess maybe he's got some good things going on with HGTV, but I do know, like, one of them he got on mute has got to be Tan France, because we already spoke on the show how there was some stuff that came out where people noticed that he unfollowed Tan on social media, and how he had posted something, I think, for promoting Queer Eye to his other account, to his alt account, that didn't have a lot of stuff on it. Like, he wasn't keeping up with that one as much as he was keeping up with his personal Tan France account, which had people thinking, oh, the girls is fighting. So he said, after the fans, the sleuths were sleuthing, he said, "Tan and I had a moment." This is what he told Vanity Fair at the time. "There was a situation, and that's between Tan and I, and it had nothing to do with the show. It was something personal that had been brewing, and nothing romantic, just to clarify that. Should I have unfollowed Tan? No. Maybe I should have just muted him." Everybody on mute. That's where everybody's going from now on, because people are nosy. But that day I was angry, and that's the end of it. We became like siblings, and siblings are always going to fight. Now it seems like he's muted them. Interesting, the two seemed like they were on a path of making up after they won the Emmy at the 75th annual Emmy Awards. "We both embraced each other, and we both said congratulations, and that's where we are right now." This is what he said at the time. "I will always have a very special place in my heart for him and Rob," France's husband, "and the kids. I can foresee in 6 months in a year, Tan and I at each other's house being good. The Emmys was already the first bandage on that wound." Well, I don't know. It seems like now that you may have reopened it by you doing that, because I'm curious to know which one he has on mute. Okay, Jonathan Van Ness, we already know was a damn nuisance, according to the reports that came out, how he was just a menace on that damn set. So I don't think he would have him unmuted. He definitely got Tan on mute. Who else is there? Karamo? I don't know if he would have Karamo on mute. I don't know. Maybe Karamo will probably be the only one that would be cool with there. Everybody else, I can't even think who else is on Queer Eye. I might be missing a name. But we know Jeremiah Brent is the one that replaced Tan on the show. So maybe they were friends before. Oh yeah, Anthony Porowski. That's who's missing. I forgot about him too. So I don't know. Maybe he's cool with Anthony. But remember, there was that point where we heard the tea from Chef Stu, who was supposed to be on the show before he was abruptly cut, allegedly by Tan France. This is what he said. This is what Chef Stu said, that he was cut by Tan, and all of a sudden, they put Anthony up in there. And so he wasn't part of the show. The chemistry read, everything was good. They all got along. The chemistry was great. But then all of a sudden, he found out before they were starting to film that he was replaced. He was fired. So there's that. And it's unfortunate that there's so many messy people that be behind the scenes. See, sissy BS. You got them doing that shit over there at TGIF, and now you got them doing that mess over here at Queer Eye. But quiet as it's kept, I don't know anybody that watch Queer Eye. Just like I don't know many people that, like I was saying before, or I should have probably reiterated, like, I don't know many people that's out here still wanting to go see the Fugees in concert off of one album. Whatever, child. But I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? And who do y'all think that is the one that Bobby does not have muted? See, that's the smart way to do it. Just mute them because nobody knows who you have muted but you. But if you unfollow somebody or you block them, you know the sleuths that get on social media and start being like, what's going on here? Because we see that's what happened before with him and Tan. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so Justin Baldoni, he was in the Blake film. He will never play an abusive guy, crying, and 8 months of therapy to separate himself from the character. He loves his wife, but that character made him mad. Yeah, they said that he made Blake uncomfortable on the show. He said at his wife, that's why he asked not to do promotion despite scriptwriter and directing the film. Oh yeah, because I heard about it, but I didn't read the article. So I was like, I remember I read it when I was doing research for other stuff. He said, I think Anthony and Tan try to be messy. Anthony wanted his boy to mess. Well, you think he wanted Bobby Berk to slut him out? But yeah, they're a mess over there. It's like, you know what? When y'all, it's very slim pickings. It's very much a minority when it comes to the homosexuals in this industry. And when it's like you finally get an opportunity, you finally get something going. Here people go being messy, and here people go trying to sabotage the thing. And it's like, why can't y'all just go in, do the job, and go home? I don't understand why it's so hard for people to do that. It's like y'all have to go in, you gotta assert yourself in the drama, you gotta get caught up in the matrix of the mess, and then this is all that comes out, and then the tea gets spilled, and we get full exposés from Rolling Stone or Vanity Fair or one of them magazines. I don't know how to quiet as a script. And so that's why I was like, when Queer Eye for the Straight Guy came out back in the day, you believed a lot of what was going on with that show. But it's like now, it's like, yeah, what kind of experts are y'all again? Or y'all just casting for the show for the sake of casting? Because I do agree, Tan do be looking a mess, and I don't get the whole, and I kind of did like him when I watched that show that he had, Next in Fashion, I believe is the name, when they had Alexa Chung one season. Alexa Chung cannot keep a damn job past the first season. Because I remember she was hosting another show at one point, and she only lasted one season. And then they replaced her with Gigi Hadid. And that wasn't bad. But I did like the fashions on there. First of all, who won that show? I think it was Nigel, little cute light-skinned boy with the braids and the grills that would make all his stuff out of denim. I did like him, and I like the show, but I don't know if they get another season, because Netflix is weird with how they promote stuff. They said Queer Eye is giving me the original Queer Tease. Okay. So anyway, I always hate when that happens. It's like I always leave that up in there and I forget to take it out at the end of the show. So anyway, speaking of the end of the show, we are at the end of the show. Didn't I say this? I said I do less episodes and still or topics, and it still goes over 3.5 hours. That's just probably just the overall number that we just be doing with the show. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Tune in. I'll probably be doing a show tomorrow. Hopefully there'll be some interesting stuff coming out that we can talk about. And yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live. With a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Are you saying what were the highlights and takeaways from D23? I'm trying to remember. So I do want to see Agatha all along. I'm hearing great things about that. I'm excited to see that. I don't particularly care for the Pixar stuff. I am really excited for Daredevil Born Again. I don't know what other stuff that they mention, but I'm really excited for Daredevil. I don't know why I want to say Deadpool so bad. I think it's because I got Deadpool on the mind because Deadpool is still in theaters and doing really well. But Daredevil, I don't know, they showed the clips and everything, and they showed, I think, like a trailer or whatever. People were really excited based off of what they were hearing. They were saying great things. I am wondering how many episodes we're going to get because I heard they're about to start shooting the next season very soon. But I'm just curious about the now and what's coming. I am curious to see the new Captain America movie. I'm excited to see that. I did like to see the Red Hulk, which of course, you know, is Harrison Ford. Or if you didn't know, my bad. But it's in the comic. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for a couple of things. One of the people that made me excited based off of what I would say, I watch. If you really want to understand like comics and stuff, because I'm not really that well versed in a lot of comic book stuff, but there's one person I watch that really breaks it down for me and makes me feel like I'm smart after I watch this stuff. I don't know if y'all heard of Corey Jandro. I follow him. He always comments when I repost his stuff or whatever. He's one that's really good at breaking down like a lot of the comic book stuff and getting people interested in like, okay, the lore of the comics versus the comic book movies, because people always say, well, it's in the comics, they're going to follow it. And they don't always follow what's literally lore in the comics. A lot of times they'll take from it, but then the MCU puts their own spin on things. So I'm glad y'all put in there what they was talking about. I don't know. I need to see this Lilo and Stitch live action, I need to see some stuff on it for me to be like, if I'm really interested in watching it. I always have a hard time getting into live action stuff versus animated. Like, I like the animated stuff, but then I watch live action and it takes me out. It's the same thing like with The Lion King. I prefer the animated Lion King over the live action one. I know they have a prequel with Mufasa. I am curious to see that. But child, they're gonna have Beyonce up in there acting. You already know what she gives. And I love her as a musician, but sometimes she be speaking like she just learned English yesterday when she be acting. Like very like no personality. And that's no shade. I'm just saying, based off of the many times we've seen her. It's probably that damn Texan outfit. I mean that Texas accent. She can't get rid of it. Moana 2. I don't care for Wicked. I don't know why they decided to do a Wicked movie. I don't know why they're splitting it into 2 parts. It just doesn't make sense to me. So Wicked is a chop. I could care less. I guess maybe when it ends up on a streaming service, I'll check it out. But I don't care enough to go see Wicked in the theater. Child, Sailor Mermaid tried to get me to watch a musical, The Little Mermaid. I was like, I ain't going to no movies to see that. I said, nobody's that gay. So I waited till it came out on Disney Plus, and I was glad I stayed my ass home because I was sitting there like these effects and everything is just taking me out. Chloe was good in it, but it's just there's a disconnect. It was a disconnect watching that movie. So I don't really like the live action stuff. I prefer the animated stuff, and that's basically what Disney is. Y'all just be remaking everything. He said heifer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some of the D23 stuff. But like I said, I'm really hoping that they drop that Daredevil Born Again trailer tomorrow or sometime this week because I need to see that. And yeah, and I'm also hoping soon that we can get some kind of rollout of what they have filmed so far with DC. Like, can y'all get us a little something with Superman? Like, I want to see a little something. Yeah, I did hear that Blue Ivy is going to be in Mufasa. So we'll see how she does. I hope she ain't as stiff in the acting department as she was when she started doing that My Power choreography. But then she got better. So we're going to give her flowers with that. She was a little hot mess in the beginning, but she got better because people was talking. And so we give her that. But Beyonce, what's your excuse? Why you still like where the personality at with the acting? Like it just be sound like she reading when she acts. But anyway, that's all I gotta say on the D23. So I need to get more versed in it because I know like John Campion did a video on it, but that was like 3.5 hours. I was like, oh, I ain't sitting through all that. And like what Onyx said, it was boring. So I can only imagine if it's on a show where he wants to get so technical with stuff, I'm gonna find it boring sitting through that. So that's why I like the fact that when there's people who make it way more interesting and engaging for me when they break it down, like Corey is so high energy when he talks, and then Christian Harloff when he has a panel of people that he'll bring on and they'll give their opinions, so that makes it more interesting. Or when Real Rejects, shout out to them, when they start talking about it. Speaking of which, Alien Romulus, they've been giving so many great reviews on that movie. I need to get a ticket for that. And I still haven't gotten around to buying tickets for that movie yet. So I'm just like, I need to see that this weekend when it comes out. So yeah, that's what I'm saying on, because I'm here. They're saying that that's the perfect trilogy to the film. So it's like you got Alien, you got Aliens, and then you got Alien Romulus. They said those are the three top. Like they did a great job, similar to Prey and Predator. They said they announced a lot of rides we might not get till 20. Child, we're waiting for that. And then also with the thing, what did they cancel that was supposed to be a movie that now they're making into a ride that we just talked about on the show the other day? Damn, I can't remember the name of it. There was some other. Oh, but yeah, it was that Zack Snyder zombie thing that they're talking about. They're making that into an attraction, I guess, at Universal Studios or something. I'm like, I don't want an attraction. I want you to actually explore that universe. But who want to wait? What are we? Who want to wait like 6-7 years for a new ride? Like, come on now. Does this mean Act 3 is delayed for the Mufasa soundtrack? Why, you think she actually going to do the whole soundtrack like she did Black is King? Who's going to that? First of all, how do you make a Mary Poppins ride work at Epcot? Something you gonna give everybody umbrellas and tell them to hold on to it while they get floated around whatever thing that they're into? Like, how does that work? A lot of people don't have upper arm strength. So what would be, how would they make that work? Would it look like It's a Small World? Like, I don't know. I haven't been to Disney World in so long. I think the last time I went was when I was like 12. And I had so much fun. That whole week we got to go out there, and it was me and my siblings, and we just had such a great time. We did Magic Kingdom, Epcot Center. I think we did all the spots. Or the Universal Studios. But anyway. So that's my opinion on that. I'ma go. I need to eat. I had me some dumplings earlier. I'm gonna finish eating my Chinese food because I was like, I knew I was not gonna have time to cook or anything because I was like, I ran to the store earlier. I went to Lowe's. Yeah, channeling my inner lesbian. I had to get some supplies, fixing stuff, and then it was just like got here, basically put all my stuff together, the show, and been on here ever since. So now I'm hungry, so I need to go eat something. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode, Lord willing. You know, if there's some good tea to spill. But so for those of y'all who didn't see the whole thing, you can wait till it's over, hit the playback, hit that like button, that subscribe button, notification button, all that good stuff. Love you all for watching. Thank you everybody who's in the chat, chatting with me per usual. I love y'all. Till next time, ciao, darlings.